Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Les from Ride and Live the Dream. Okay, we're a couple of minutes early. We've got 3 people in the house. First of all, can everybody hear me? If somebody can hear me, or a comment in the chat, and then I know everything's working, that you can see me and that you can hear me. Hello. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So we're still waiting for everything okay with the sound. My little green lights are flashing, so it would indicate. Thumbs up, Les. Thanks very much, Jim. Good to hear, because usually I start about 10 or 15 minutes early, but just sod's laws, because I use a separate laptop with regard to doing my live stream, and I've just come outside, set it all up, and the computer says, oh, it needs to update. So it's like, come on. And then the camera connection didn't work, and it's just like, oh, come on. So anyway, good to see that everything's working anyway. Thank you. So just made myself a cup of coffee. I'm ready for whatever the questions that people want to ask. I don't know what the response is going to be like today, because normally I do a pre-video with regard to doing my live stream on Retired and Live the Dream. But this time I just put a little notice on, because basically I've been run off my feet for the past week or so. And I just thought, okay, I'll just put the little notice on just to see what that says. And I mean, up to now we've got 6 in the house. So did you all see the notice, or was it just that you were just browsing and you seen it come on here, Les live in Thailand? Come through loud and clear. Thanks very much. Can hear and see fine. Thanks very much. So we've got a bird in the background whistling. Woo, woo, woo. Noisy thing. So everybody ready for Christmas? This is going to be my last live stream this year, because we go away for Christmas. We're going away to Kokud, and we're there for Christmas, going there Christmas Eve, over there Christmas Day, and then January, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, then we come back on the 2nd or 3rd. So this is my last live stream for this year. So for all those people that tune in, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all the best. And thanks very much for subscribing and watching. And basically all of your support has been fantastic this year. We've grown the channel this year. We've come on about, I think, 2,500, 3,000 subscribers in the past year. So that's fantastic. So thanks very much to every single one of you who watch and subscribe and help the channel along. It's very, very much appreciated. So if anybody's got any questions that they need to ask, on the comments on the right hand side, I can see the comments scrolling up. Just put a Q at the beginning of it, and then that shows that it's a question. Then I can go through the questions. Now, I apologize if somebody asks a question, I don't get around to it whilst I'm answering another question, because eventually all the messages scroll up. So if I miss it, just put another question again and I'll surely get to it. So thanks for asking any of the questions. I'm usually quite good. I can answer maybe 95% of the questions that are already asked. And if I can't ask, I'll direct you to the people that can give you the answer to the questions. So nice, good to see you. So I saw the notice. Okay, thank you. Because it didn't pop up on my YouTube thing, so I didn't know whether anybody actually seen the notice or not. Probably KFC for Christmas dinner. Don't knock KFC or McDonald's. I actually like. I went to Rayong the other day, and I had to go and get things sorted out for one thing or another, and I actually popped into a McDonald's. Now, because McDonald's are very few and far between here where I live, it's actually a treat to have a McDonald's or a Burger King or even a KFC. So they're nice. I suppose, like living in the UK, when I lived there, they were on your doorstep, and so you just get used to it. But Thai food and Western food is certainly poles apart. So occasionally a KFC and a McDonald's is a change, and it's different. It's nice. Was it as all going well? This will be my last Christmas in the West. Moving over there next year. Oh, good. Again, as I say, I've had a busy week or so. I've met quite a few subscribers over the past week or so, and it's sort of been hectic. I mean, last week I'd one on the Monday and one on the Tuesday, and then we went down to Wai Hin on the Thursday. Now I'm going to come on about why we went to Wai Hin on the Thursday, and I've just done a video on it, and it is going to be very, very interesting. For those people who are interested in the assisted living and retirement homes for those people who maybe need a little bit of extra care or looking after, there is an opportunity in Wai Hin. I've already done one video before, and that attracted over 13,000 views. So this one is actually better than the other video that I did as far as what's available, and that's going to come now. The video's been done. It's been sent for approval from the resident or residential care people, and once they've passed it, which I would think will be tomorrow or Tuesday, then I'll post it on the video. But it was a fantastic location to spend your golden years in. It's very, very good. And as I say, I met the CEO of this place, and he gave me permission to go around and talk to whoever I wanted with no restrictions of where I wanted to go and have a look and see and view. And I did talk to a few of the residents in this residential home stroke hotel, and everybody was happy. Everybody was happy. So that's yet to come. That'll be next, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll be out on the channel. But I know there's quite a few people were anticipating, waiting for it, and it has took quite a while to actually organise and go down there and see it, because again, this guy is very busy, and it was interesting to do, and I loved it. We were there for 2 days. So that's yet to come. So, hey up, Les, how's it going? In another lovely sunny day there. Another cold, grey, miserable day here. Guess where I am? Oh, does it begin with U and end in K? Yeah, it's actually quite nice, isn't it? I mean, you can see the blue skies in here, and it's a little bit cooler today, which is good because we are in the cool season when all said and done. But it's still 29. With a little bit of a breeze, which is lovely, so I don't have to have the fan today. But this is what I'm saying. As far as, for me personally, for the things that make life sort of nice to live is because, one, you're warm, two, you feel valued, three, you've got enough money to live on, you don't have to count the pennies type of thing. And although I live on a pension here, it's easily manageable here. I don't have to worry about the heating going on, because my sister back in the UK, I think she's paying something like £200 a month for a gas and electricity. £200 a month. And I know I keep going on about my electricity bill, how cheap it was, but last month it was 589 baht, which is about £14 for the month, electricity bill. Yeah, £14 of the month. Crazy. So, Mr. Who, yes, the UK. Well, I mean, remember this time last year, I was in the UK, and what an adventure! It was a horrible time. I mean, sadly, my stepdad died, so I went for the funeral over in the UK, and it was my sister's birthday. Not shortly after the funeral of my stepdad, so I said to my sister, "I'll stay there for November," and as it was close to Christmas, and because she sort of got deep vein thrombosis when she came here to see me in Thailand, so she's never going to fly that distance again. So I thought I'll do the three: her birthday, Christmas, and New Year. Boy, was I freezing cold every single day. It got dark at 3, 4 o'clock in the evening, light at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Miserable, cold, grey skies. I was just forever cold. And out of the 9 weeks that I was there, I was ill for 3 weeks of them. So it was one of them things I don't want to repeat going back to the UK again. Well, if I go back to the UK, hopefully it'll be in the summer and it'll never, ever be in the winter again. Hi, Les. How are you? I'm back in Australia for Christmas, but I'll be back early next year. Have a wonderful Christmas and a good break. Thanks very much. Well, we spent Christmas and New Year in Australia when I did my round the world trip. We did the fireworks. I always wanted to see the fireworks in Australia on New Year's Eve, and I did, and I got to see it, and it was like, wow, it was better than I envisaged. So Australia is good because it's warm at Christmas time, as opposed to freezing cold in England. But yeah, Australia has got some good memories for me. Very expensive, but we were in Sydney for Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, and we stayed in a hostel at King's Cross, and it was £120 a night in a hostel for the week between Christmas and New Year. So Sydney was very, very expensive. Good morning, afternoon, Les. I hope your wife are good. Okay, it's Paul from Northolt. My wife and I are getting ready to move to Udantani in the next new year, once our flat is sold. So yeah, best wishes for your future plans, and may have a happy time here in Thailand. Again, the two people that came to see, well, I've sort of had three people in the last month, and one guy I know I've mentioned a few times on my channel, a Canadian guy. He's living up at Chiang Mai now, and he's having a fantastic time. The message that I got off him, he says, you know, it's better than the real thing. He's watched so many videos about it, and now he's here. He's all excited, and he's sort of living his own dream over here. And I found that majority of the guys that come and moving over here think it's a wonderful place, and it is a really, really wonderful place in my mind. It doesn't suit Thailand isn't for everybody, so don't get me wrong. But for when I look on the outside world, America, Lord, this isn't me. This is the feedback that I get off everybody. The American dream is gone and withered away because of what's going on in America. You know, all the fighting and that's going on, all the bad feeling, everything. Australia's the same. Europe's the same. UK is the same. So what's happening with the world? What's going on in the world? You know, the peace and harmony of everywhere is sort of disappeared. And maybe I'm living in a little bit of a bubble living here in Thailand, because you don't see any of that's going on. Maybe it's because I don't understand the Thai language, or because everywhere has its political differences and political carry-ons. But I think at the end of the day, these countries, you know, so-called poorer countries, have got it right, and the Western world's gone crazy. I mean, how many people would agree with the world's in a mess at the minute, and it's all to do with the elite, wealthy people who try to run the world? I'm getting to politics now. I'll move off politics. Les, I've been living in Jomtien for 3 weeks, where I can't speak Russian. That's why I've moved out. Yeah. There's the Ruskies are everywhere. There's even a few Russians now in Rayong. Where am I going for my holidays? I'm going to Koh Kud, which is a little island off Koh Chang. So it's about an hour by catamaran from the mainland to Koh Kud. It's a stunningly beautiful little island. So that's where we're going. I worked there for a little while, maybe it's eight or 9 years ago, and I loved it. And the wife's never been to it, so we said, okay, this Christmas, New Year, we're going to go to Koh Kud. And so looking forward. I mean, this time next week, we'll be there. So yeah, this time next Sunday, we'll be in Koh Kud. Hey. And then that will be the day before Christmas, and Christmas Day on the beach. And because Cod is only a small island, it's not too. We don't live too far away from the beach. We've got some great snorkeling to look forward to. I've just bought some new face masks so you don't have the snorkel in your mouth, because the wife doesn't like the snorkel in the mouth, and the goggles. So this is like a full face mask. And in England, I've seen them for about £50 or £60. And we already had two of the face masks, but they're 7 years old or 6 years old they were. Yeah, 6 years old. So I've just bought two new ones, like £7 or £8 each. Even if we just had one holiday out with them, they're well worth it. And of course, my wife had to have a pink one, so a pink full face mask to go snorkeling with. Yeah. So, how many people can go swimming in the sea at Christmas time? You know, okay, there's a Boxing Day dip in the UK, but everybody runs in, then runs back out 5 minutes later, freezing cold. So yeah, it would appear there are lots of people thinking about making the move over here. This is the comments that I get, because I get emails and messages every single day with regard to people wanting to move over to Thailand and disillusioned with the home countries and things like that. And so this is the majority of people that talk to me. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, there's some nice places in the world, but for me, it's just getting ruined. Let's have a look. It's so obvious that I'm missing red carp. Yeah, I miss it like a hole in the head. Hang on, what's that popped up there? Yeah, I miss the lemon tops in red carp. I'm going to be living in Jomtien when I go back to town. Now, Jomtien is a nice place. I lived in Jomtien for 2 years, and I liked it because it was like 10 minutes away from, or 15 minutes away from the madness of Pattaya. And as I say, the last time we were in Pattaya, we were at the fireworks show in Pattaya. Now, they have a 2-day international fireworks show in Pattaya every year. And it's just like, wow, you know, beautiful fireworks show and free. So we sat on the beach. We paid 100 baht to have a seat, and you could order your beers while you were sat on the beach. But because it coincided with Loy Krathong, so there was International Fireworks Festival on the Saturday and Sunday, and then Loy Krathong, which is a Thai New Year thing, on the Monday. So Pattaya was absolutely heaving. So to stop inside of Pattaya, it was treble the cost that you normally pay. So we stopped in Jomtien, like Na Jomtien, which is like really quite a way out of Pattaya. And yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare as well. We found a beautiful hotel in Na Jomtien, right on the beach. And but I paid for it on the morning that we actually stayed there, because the guy that was picking up, I asked him whether he wanted to stay in Jomtien for the fireworks show, because he just arrived in Thailand, and he said yes. So I booked it, and then when we got to the hotel, they said, "Oh, you need to pay for the hotel room." He says, "Because we've only used your card as a guarantee." Now I'm sure, at the time, I was 99% sure that I got the receipt that says it's been paid for. But it's happened like that before, and I think, oh, okay, because it's happened that before, and we were in a rush, and we just got to the hotel. So I said to my friend Dave, I said, "Dave, put your bags, shower, we'll jump on the BART bus, get into Pattaya before it gets really, really, really busy." So, and I didn't have time to check. And it was only when I got home back to Rayong, I checked, and it had been paid for. Long story short, it took nearly 3 weeks to get me money back from the hotel, because I paid, and then when they said I hadn't paid, my friend Dave paid. So between two of us, so there was a big kerfuffle with booking.com and the hotel. The hotel denied it. Oh, a nightmare. But it's been 3 weeks, and anyway, I've eventually got my money back off from it. So that was Nature. I forget the name of the hotel now, but anyway, somewhere in Jomtien. So if anybody's going to book a hotel certainly through booking.com. And I know they do sometimes use your card as guarantee for booking. So if you don't turn up, they'll charge your card. But if they say you have to pay because we haven't taken it from your card, I'd check before you leave to the hotel, because it's the first time it's ever happened to me. But it was like £70. If it was like 10 or 15 quid, I wouldn't even bother with it. But £70, it was worth arguing with for 3 weeks. So anyway, so that was my little trip into Jomtien. But Jomtien was there. I lived there for 2 years, and I lived Vutalay 2 or Vutalay 1, near the bus station in Jomtien, near Gian's and Pan Pizza, just over the road in Chateaudale. That was lovely. Beautiful 64 square metre apartment. And at the time I was paying 18,000 baht a month for that. And this was going back maybe 9 years ago now. So I don't know how much it is now, but I think there's that much competition in Pattaya and Jomtien that prices have come down dramatically. So, and of course, now with the Russians, they've sort of filled up all the main touristy hotspots, and now they're just moving further afield, so that less wealthy Russians are moving elsewhere than the Phuket and the Koh Samuis. So the feeling that I get of the people that I'm talking to on the internet type of thing, that the Russians are causing a lot of problems with various things. You know, they're opening up their own retail, the estate agents, their own taxis, they're sort of bending the laws, and a few Thai people don't like it. So I think there's going to be a little bit of trouble in the future with the Ruskies because of what they're doing. They're sort of trying to take over. So there'll be like a little Russian mafias here, there, and everywhere. And when you get a little bit of a mafias, then it causes all sorts of problems. But we're going to talk about a couple of other little things now. Let's have a look. Am I going to be doing some filming in Koh Kood? Yeah, I'll do a little bit of filming, but not a lot. But we'll see. It's Christmas and New Year. I've sort of been busy doing all sorts of things, although not many films or videos have come onto YouTube. It's just that it just takes a lot of time, and I'm spending a little bit of time as well opening or starting my other channel. I did a video about earning $3,000 a month or a week or something, and that was setting up under the YouTube channel, one of these faceless channels, and I'll you know, just to blow the myth away of how easy it is to work online, and it isn't easy to work online. And so I'm on a year-long mission to see if I can get any online working and see if it actually works. And you know, all of these people who say pay me thousands of pounds or dollars and I'll show you how it works, but it doesn't work like that. It's not easy at all. So I have spent some time doing that, and some of the faces, I think I've done 28 or 29 videos now on that, and each video takes about 2.5 hours to do. So that's a lot of time to do these videos, because I've tried to do it as a professional quality as I can. All of these where they say, you know, like in video or what's the other one, Pictory or something like that, where you just put a text into it and it'll do all the videos and it'll do everything for you. It's a load of rubbish. It's like everything else. There's no magic bullet. There's no quick thing. If you want to do quality, it takes time to do the quality. And then I did the video on the Barong Hotel, which a friend of mine stopped at, and I asked whether I could do a video, and that was it. Another one done. And then they say the video down in Hua Hin, that took 3 or 4 days, and I've edited that, so that come Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, I plan to have a little bit of a break without filming too much in Koh Kood. But yeah, I'll do some. But Koh Kood is well worth a visit for anybody that wants to go to the little islands. Okay, what is the best agent to find a rental house in Rayong for a single man? Well, you can start off with me. You can start off with me because I've got a few contacts with various people who rent houses out. And so what we actually do is we run a bit of a service, me and the wife, that if somebody wants to come around, look at Rayong and the areas, you know, we're your guide for the day. So we charge 2,500 baht to spend the day with us, and we'll drive you around all the areas. So if you want an area with some bars, or you want some area like where we live, it's quiet here, we'll drive you around the areas. And if there's anything that you fancy or that you like, the wife will give because invariably they're all Thai. So my wife will do the negotiations for you with regard to if you're looking for somewhere to stay. And so that's it. You just get a good drive around the area, you get a feel of the area. And we have several houses. Our landlady has up to 10 houses where we live. I think at the minute there's only 2 available, and they're between 10 and 15,000. There's other houses. If you've got 20,000 baht a month, that's you can rent a house with a swimming pool for a year, 20,000 baht a month. In just off the top of my head, Melonpun Beach, and there's a few bars down there. There's 2 apartments, 7,000 or 8,000 baht a month they are, if you book it on long term, and that's overlooking the ocean. And they are quite nice, you know. And for that amount of money with a sea view is, I think, an incredible value. So I'll put my email on there. So if you want any information on that, just send me an email, and then we'll go from there. 58. Right, so there's my email on there. So anybody who's looking for houses or accommodation and things like that, because of what I do, you know, network, there's quite a few people who I know, so I can always direct people to various places. Now, we never really have a list to say bling, 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 because like people come and go all the time, and houses get rented and houses become vacant. So basically, at the time of when you come, then we can show you around the places. I mean, there's a couple of stunning places for a 2-bedroom bungalow with a communal pool, and that's only 10,000 baht a month. But that's in a place near us. It's incredible value here in Rayong compared to a lot of other places in Thailand. And a single guy, I mean, we have a brunch club, so you're more than welcome to come and join us. Every Thursday we have brunch. There's 2 places, the Pier Cafe in Ban Phe, or there's Tony's Restaurant, again, both in Ban Phe. And between 6 and 12 of us put the world to right in an hour of lunch, and so that's every week. So as a single guy, you're more than welcome to join us on every Thursday, apart from next week and the week after, because it's during Christmas. But a single man in Thailand, you'd have a good time being a single man in Thailand. Hi from San Francisco. My husband and I have enjoyed a few of your videos. Thanks very much, San Francisco. Now, I helped a lovely lady called Kelly move from San Francisco over to Thailand. She actually bit the bullet and moved and sold everything and moved from San Francisco over to Thailand. And the last I heard, she's living in Jomtien, and she's very happy with making the move, because she actually, 67-year-old lady, she actually felt safer in Thailand than she did in San Francisco. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Anyway, I hope you get some good value from the videos. The other side of the world. How far I am from Jomtien? I live about an hour and a half away from Jomtien, so it's not too far. It's like an hour and a half away from Pattaya. We're 2.5 hours away from Bangkok Airport, 3 hours from Koh Chang, and in Rayong, I don't know whether you know Rayong area, but majority of people come to Rayong to go to Koh Samet Island. That's sort of the famous side of Rayong is Koh Samet Island. But Rayong itself isn't on the tourist map because tourists don't really come here. But it's quiet, it's well priced. We've got some lovely beaches. Again, last week there was a festival on in Rayong with free music. Some of Thailand's top bands played. It was all for free. You just got your tables and chairs. Must be 7,000 or 8,000 people there. Loads of food stalls, entertainment going on, and all for free. And Bandpay do this every year, and some of Thailand's top bands play here also, and it's all for free. And then the week before that, there was another little festival up where we live, Chak Pong, which is about 15 kilometers away from Bandpay. Another little festival on, some free bands on there. So to give you the caliber of some of the bands that we've seen for free, like everybody knows the Rolling Stones. Well, Thailand, their equivalent of the Rolling Stones is a band called Carabao, and Carabao played here maybe 3 or 4 years or so ago. So we get some of the top bands playing, and it's all for free, and the atmosphere is electric. It's really, really good. Although I can't understand what they're singing, when you see everybody else singing and dancing and enjoying themselves, you just get wrapped up in the atmosphere. So yeah, Jomtien is about an hour and a half away from the Rayong from where I live. So it's not too far. John the accountant. Hello, John. Nice to have you in here. Thanks very much for joining me. Can you tell Les wishes he was back in the red? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Does it show? I mean, the last time I was in Redcar, I thought I was having a heart attack, and I was not. Spent 5 hours before I could see a doctor. 4 hours waiting for an ambulance. So there's not good memories of going back to Redcar. Les, will I need to get our marriage license translated or converted into a Thai, or will the agent take care of that when I get my marriage visa? Yeah, you need to get it. You need to get it translated into Thai. So you go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to get it stamped, but you'll have to go to a translation service where they can translate everything. That's more important, because then, yeah, basically you need it translating into Thai. So if anything happens, the Thais can see that you've actually been married, and they can read it because it's in Thai. Now, an agent can do everything for you, and would I use an agent to do it? I'm a stickler for trying to do everything myself, and because it is possible here to do everything yourself. It might be time consuming and it might be frustrating with the paperwork, but it certainly is possible to do everything yourself. And like when I actually got married, it took a long time before me and Ploy got married, because we got told, I'd research on Google for how you get married and how you do all the paperwork. So we filled all the paperwork in, we got it all. And then we went to the Ampere in Bangkok to get married, or the registration office. And the first office we went to says no, because we needed Ploy's parents there as witnesses. And in the paperwork, it basically said you can get 2 of the employees from the office and you pay them a few $100 baht each and they'll be witnesses. But the first office we went to says, no, we can't do that. So the second office we went to, they said we needed Ploy's parents also, who live 6 hours away from where we were in Bangkok. And then I also needed a translator, so I could understand actually what the ceremony was going to be about, what I'm signing and what I agreed to. So then we went up to the Ampers in Ploy's village, where the lady said, yeah, come here on Friday, which was 2 days away, and then you get married on the Friday. So we drove the 6 hours to Ploy's village, went to the Amper, Ploy's mum and dad, the head of the village, and everybody else. And the lady says, no, you can't get married here, because the lady who does the marriage ceremony, it's her last day today because she's going to work somewhere else, so she's not going to do anything. So it was only then that we actually used an agent in Bangkok, because when we were getting all the paperwork done in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there's loads of agents, freelance agents who were there to help people go through all the processes. So Ploy got one of her cards and we rang the agent up and she said, yeah, come back down to Bangkok tomorrow. And she said, we'll go through the ceremony tomorrow. So we went to an office, and 15 minutes later we were married. So sometimes it's beneficial to use an agent, because we were stuck. We couldn't do it unless we brought Ploy's parents all the way down to Bangkok. So yeah, sometimes agents are good, but I did majority of the work myself for obtaining all the paperwork and going to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to get it translated and everything else like that. But that's important, because you do need that. For instance, if you're married, I mean, this is one of the important things to do, because if you're married, your wife is your next of kin, but unless you've got it translated into Thai, because as a foreigner, she has to get the death certificate because she's the next of kin. But if she can't prove she's the next of kin without the marriage certificate, then it makes it more complicated to get the marriage certificate, to get the death certificate in the first place. So that's why you get all your ducks in a row, because we're all going to die one day. And for me, make it as less stressful for your partner than it can be. So it was a long-winded answer, that, wasn't it, really? Yes, you need to go to get it translated into Thai. So I hope that answers your questions. It was a long-winded answer, I know, but yeah, everything that you have here, legally wise, you best to have it translated into Thai, and then everybody knows. Yeah, so marriage certificate is for that. So, okay, now another bit of news, and I'm sure everybody's seen it on the Thai visas or the Thai videos and things like that, about the Taiwanese guy who was refused access into the hospital, and he died on the way to the public hospital. Now, they're sensational viewing figures, because the tragic and tragedy, and the guy died, which was sad. But what's not mentioned in many other instances where the Thailand bends over backwards to help people. Now, I'm going to give you one example that I know of personally, where this guy had an accident and he had to have 2 toes amputated. He didn't have any insurance, and funnily enough, the motorbike wasn't insured, which he had a motorbike accident, but miraculously, the day after, the motorbike was insured. So rules were bent to make sure that the motorbike was insured, because if you got insurance on a motorbike, it will pay a certain part of the bill for your medical bill if you have an accident. This guy, didn't have any medical insurance at all, or travel insurance, so he had nothing. He was admitted into the public hospital whilst all this lot was getting sorted out for insurance and things like that. The public hospital told them they couldn't do the amputation at their hospital, so he was transferred to the Bangkok hospital, which is the most expensive hospital in Thailand. They performed the operation because it was like an emergency, and the total bill for all of that lot was 20,000 baht, which he sort of scraped together, borrowed, begged, and some money off other people, because he's not a wealthy guy. So his total bill, with everybody bending over backwards, not being refused treatment, whilst all the paperwork got sorted out, and there was a lot of wheels being greased to be able to get this guy his operation. So for me, that's one of the good sides. But good stories don't get the publicity like that. It's sad that the Taiwanese guy died. There is a big investigation, because even with Thai hospitals, if you turn up at a Thai hospital and you need emergency treatment, they should treat you first and then ask for money later. But who knows what's going to happen? I think the hospital's in for a bit of a kick-in. But I would say I've got medical insurance, and I've got a little bit of accident insurance. I advise anybody if they're coming to Thailand, have some medical insurance or accident insurance, because you never know what's going to happen. Now, this guy, who had the accident. There's so many things they could have refused him. He was drunk while he was driving the motorbike as well. So he was drinking and driving. He wasn't insured. He didn't have a Thai license. He didn't have an international Thai license. So you look at all of them things that he could have been refused treatment with because no insurance, no license, drunk, but he got the treatment and it cost him 20,000 baht. But to be honest, he's still having trouble now. He might have to have another toe amputated because he keeps getting infections. But that's one of the good stories with regard to Thailand helping people out that don't have a lot of money. He never got refused access to the hospital at all. So it just goes, the bad stories make headlines and the good stories get no. It's the same with YouTube. Some of my best performing videos are the worst videos because it's tragic what people have done living in Thailand, you know, Thailand revenge and, you know, a guy treating his girlfriend really, really bad. I think 87,000 views, I think that got. But that was a bad story. And I don't like telling bad stories. I'd prefer telling the good stories. But sadly, the good stories don't get the numbers. So that's just one advantage. Thais will bend over backwards to help you if they can. Let's get them out. It does, mate. Thank you. You did mention not that long ago about medical insurance. So who did you recommend? Pacific Cross. Now I did a video because I had an interview with Loic from Pacific Cross, and I can't remember the email because it's a big long email to actually contact Loic from. But if you have a look at one of my videos, the interview with the guy from Pacific Cross, Loic, and I've set up a thing with him, and I know it's going to take some time, but it's going to be a group policy. So once we get over 30 people that join, you know, the Retired and Living the Dream group insurance, then there'll be a bit of a discount. But this is going to take maybe up to a year or so to get, because some people already have insurance policies and they don't want to change and, you know, whatever. But with Loic, we answered all the questions. We did an interview in Bangkok, and we talked about all the questions that most people had with regard to, you know, are they going to pay before you get treatment and the excesses and so there's so many benefits with regard to Pacific Cross. And I am with Pacific Cross and I've been with Pacific Cross for many years now. So, and my insurance that I personally pay, and a lot of people say it's not a lot of money, and it isn't a lot of money, but I pay 25,000 baht a year for 700,000 bahts worth of medical insurance. And for me, it's a stick and plaster. I know it's a stick and plaster, but at the end of the day, I can find 25,000 baht straight away, but I can't find 700,000 baht. So Pacific Cross is the answer. And have a look at my video with regard to, because I can't put his registration on here because I'm talking through YouTube on the live stream, so I can't look at, and I can't think of it at the minute. But I'll put it in the follow up in the comments. I shall put Loic's direct email so you can talk to him. Now Loic is one of the managers of Pacific Cross, and he will deal with any questions that you've got. He can answer and then give you a price if you want to use Pacific Cross for medical insurance. So yeah, you know, it is available and it is, I think, reasonably priced. But there's other people. I mean, there's one guy said to me he pays 18,000 baht a month for insurance. Now that's a lot of money to pay 18,000 baht a month for, and I think he's covered for 3.5 million. But if you've got the money and you want to pay that and you want to have all that, you know, I'm quite a healthy guy. I'm not on any medications, pills, potions, or lotions or anything. So, you know, I think it's peace of mind just having a little bit of insurance. But for those people who can't get insurance, then the way to go is to self-insure. And if you're on a retirement visa, then having the 800,000 baht in the bank serves two purposes, because then you can get your you can get your retirement visa, and also you can use that 800,000 baht for medical insurance if you so require it. And then, so for those people who were scared about losing a retirement visa, once you've dibbled into that 800,000, then if that was the case, then you use an agent the following year, and that'll cost you 30,000 baht to get a retirement visa through an agent. So there's always ways and means of not getting around the system, bending the rules a little bit to help you, because there's always a way here. There's always a way of doing everything here. I wouldn't suggest breaking the rules, and I don't break the rules. I bend the rules, but we live in a country that bends the rules anyway. So, as in Rome, do as the Romans do. But some of the ways that I suggest for visa applications and things like that are actually more legal than using an agent, and it is possible for you to do all the work yourself. You can do a little bit of jiggery pokery, and it's a lot of paperwork, but once you've done all the paperwork and you get your visas, it's easy street then. Actually, you know, living in Thailand isn't difficult. There's the amount of people that say all paperwork's ridiculous, but if you put the boot on the other foot, trying to get a Thai person into England or America, ask those people how many hoops they have to jump through, and it's a lot more hoops than you have to jump through to come and live here in Thailand. So it is what it is. It's their country when all's said and done, whether we like it or whether we don't. And we do the paperwork, tick all the boxes, and then it's happy street once you're living over here. Okay. Yeah, that video's there. Again, I can't remember. It's a big long retired and living the dream at Pacific Cross or something. It's a big long. But I'll put it in my I'll put it in the comments when this goes for the rerun. I did not put my name down for the group policy because I was thinking I do not need insurance until September 2024. Well, as I said, it's like one of them things. He's had quite a number of inquiries, but it's like everything else, you know. You still might have 5 or 6 months or so left on your insurance policy anyway. So it's only when it's up for renewal that you can actually renew it, and that's where he's got quite a number of people who are interested in it. They're still working out the fine details as to how much discount you can get by joining the group policy. I mean, it's never ever going to be as big as like the Pat Your Expats Club, you know, with their group policy. But every little bit helps, isn't it? So he's a mind of information. You know, there's many different ways you can pay for your insurance. You can pay it monthly, quarterly, biannually, or one payment. So there's many options. So I mean that's what I will do eventually, because once you get to 66 upwards and 70, your premium does become quite expensive. So then I will opt for the monthly payments as opposed to trying to find it one big payment every year. So it's up to you. Right. The beach afternoon from a very wet Koh Samui, wet and raining. Wow. Koh Samui, beautiful place, but not much fun when it's raining, as there's not many places are good when they're raining. My friend has just come back from Vietnam, and he went to Da Nang, and he was there for 2 or 3 days, and they're sort of still on the end of their rainy season, and he didn't like it at all because, you know, he wasn't a happy chappy in Vietnam. when you go to somewhere and it's raining and it's cloudy. But the thing is with Thailand, you know, although it's rainy season, it doesn't actually rain every single day. It might rain for an hour or two a day, and then you get blue skies. And it's the most uncomfortable part about rainy season is the humidity, because the humidity is quite high. But it's still warm. At least when it rains, it's still warm rain. Expat insurance interview. Yeah, that's right. Well, I forget what the name of the video is called, but yeah, I did the interview with Loic from Pacific Cross. So anybody got any other questions anyway? Did I miss any questions? Anybody ask any questions? I do ramble on a little bit, don't I? Thailand retirement, that's it. So, let's have, I think, what else happened? The 90-day visa, that's taken forever to decide. I thought that would have already been decided before now, because the Russians have got 90 days and they've upped the Chinese visas and the Indian visas from 15-day to 30-day. And there was big talk and big commotion about that they're going to give all the Europeans, the Americans, the Canadians a 90-day exemption on arrival. I mean, we're in the height of high season now. So why they haven't done it, I have no idea. I do not know. And the other big thing that's still a big talking point over here is taxes. You know, everybody's going to be taxed over here whilst you're living over here, double tax. Again, that's just a lot of bluff and bluster in my mind. There's been a couple of videos done by the top tax people in Thailand, and they still don't have an answer yet. And they're still saying they still don't know what's going on. But there'll be some big decisions made in January. And the drift of it, what I get, is that there's nothing going to happen until 2025 anyway, because it's going to be a year before you have to. Probably the most things that you'll have to do is with 85% of the people here, you just prove that you already paid tax on the income that you get sent here anyway. And because of the tax treaties, we won't have to pay any taxes, and that's for sure. And but what happened in my mind was that the Thai government, or this rule's been in effect for many years, but now the Thai government want to try and get some money off the wealthy Thais who are evading tax, cast their net out to get as many fish as they can. And sadly, the net has caught many of the little people, such as us, the retirees and things like that. So as with everything gets blown out of proportion here. So the tax is, you know, it's a sort of scary thing. You know, once you've been living here for 180 days, then you're going to have to pay tax. It won't affect, in my mind, it won't affect 85% of the people. With all the stories that I've listened and the research that I've done into it, I already pay tax on my income. So I will probably just have to show immigration every year I've already paid tax on the money that's coming into this country. And it's just another bureaucracy, bit of paperwork to fill out. And I don't think any retirees that are already paying tax on their income will have to pay any tax. But again, I'm no expert. I'm no guru on this. But just going by the amount of videos that I've seen and watched, that's the information that I get. Don't be scared by a lot of the stuff. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it, because it's no good worrying about it, is it? You know, it's just. But I can understand those people who are worried about it, that made the commitment to live here, and that now they're going to have to start paying tax and things like that. But I don't think it's anything to worry about. I'm not certainly worried about it. I don't think it's going to happen. It's aimed at the wealthy people, not at the people on the retirement, on the normal pension. And there's something like, even if you had a Thai business over here, I think if you earn less than 100,000 baht, you don't pay any tax anyway. So if we bring in less than 100,000 baht, you're probably not going to be taxed either. Wait and see. But there's a lot of scaremongers out there who are frightening everybody and saying, oh, you're going to get taxed to the hill, you're going to this, that, and the other. No, just wait until it happens. Let's see what happens then. Liam, hi Les, any news on the tax income worrying thing? Oh, funny, I've just been talking about that, and I've just seen the question on there. Hi Scott from New Zealand. Like New Zealand. Yeah, that's the one. Expat insurance interview with Pacific Cross. Yeah, that's the one. It's splattered with lots of his emails from Loic. He can answer any questions that you want, and he's a good guy, and he certainly knows what he's talking about. He'll give you any answer to any questions that you want. So yeah, that's my view on the tax. I don't think anybody's got anything to worry about, because it is what it is. We'll cross it. It's like I say to everybody, you know, I mean, people go on to me, well, what if you're ill? What if this? What if that? What if the other? Now, my glasses always are full. So I say to them, well, what if I'm not ill? What if I'm not paying taxes and things like that? Look on the other side of it. Cross that bridge when you come to it. It's no good worrying about something that you don't know what's going to happen in the future or what is going to happen. But if something happens like that, then you just cross that bridge when you come to it. And another couple of questions are people have sort of slung mud at me, if you like, saying, oh yeah, you'll come back to England when you want to use the NHS and things like that. I've made the decision now. No, I'll see my days out here in Thailand. If I get an illness or a life-threatening illness, I won't go back to England for the treatment, things like that. I'll see my days out here, because do I want to spend 6 months or 12 months getting treatment for like cancer or something like that in the UK, where I'm away from a country that I love living in, such as Thailand? You know, I'll say no. We all have to die one day. This is my feeling of it. We're all going to die. This is where I would see my days out, on the sofa behind there, because over there, that's where the sun comes up on the morning, and I sit there every morning having my cup of coffee, 7 o'clock-ish, watching the sky turn beautiful colours because the sun is rising. So no, I've made my decision that Thailand is the place I'll see my days out, and if I get a life-threatening disease, you know, cancer, terminal disease or whatever, that's it. I'll just accept my lot, and I'll see my days out here. And I think, you know, that's the risk you're going to take. If you sat there all, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if the other happens? Then you'll never, ever get anywhere in life. Life is a risk anyway. Every time you drive your car, every time you drive your motorbike, every time you set foot outside your front door, life is a risk. So if you looked at life that way every time, well, what if I get knocked over by a bus? What if I get knocked over by a car? What if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time? That's just the way it is. But that's my attitude on life. And I always have a glass half full. And for those people who say, well, what if you get an illness? Well, what if I don't? You know, what if we get taxed? Well, then I'll deal with it when it comes. Or if I don't get taxed, then why have we been worried about it? So I've just got a funny attitude on life, because you never know what's around the corner. And I'm 63-year-old now. I've got more years behind me than I have in front of me. So I intend to enjoy the years that I've got left. And I've been retired now for 14 years, almost 14 years. And I've loved every year of it. And long may it last. So yeah, always look on the bright side of life. There's a film about that somewhere, I think. Let's have a look. It was a good interview. Thanks very much. Yeah. Again, look, I mean, what you're seeing, the interview with me and Loic went on for at least another an hour and a half. Now, as I said, for those people who've just joined us, I've done another video with regard to assisted living in Thailand, and I I went and seen the CEO of Sunshine International Retirement Home and Hotel. So that video will be coming out next week sometime. And that is, for me, this is my, again, personal thinking, I'd sooner be sat in a retirement home over here in Thailand. And when you see the video, you'll see what I mean. And it's expensive. It's not cheap, yes, but it's still less expensive than a nursing home or a retirement home in the UK. And when you see the video, and I'm sure I'll get over 90% of people thumbs up and say, yeah, I'd sooner be there than sat in the UK nursing home, retirement home. When I was in the fire service, we used to go and inspect the nursing home and retirement homes every year because that was a part of our job. And as a young firefighter, I looked at all of these old people sat in the chairs, dribbling, watching the TV, Coronation Street, whatever. And I used to think, is this what old age is going to be like? You know, because for me, it's a fate worse than death. Sat in there, and like from October till April time, you're sort of housebound because you can't go out because it's too bloody cold. Now, when you look at this video next week, there's people sat in the swimming pool, and we're in December now. People sat in the swimming pool, people are swimming, people are sat outside in the nice warm chairs, free tea and coffee every day, all day. And these are all people, and they have the carers there. There's 24-hour assistants, nurse on call. And it's just like, wow. And that's for a lesser price than what you'd pay in the UK. So there are ways and means of living here in your older age than maybe is living at home in your home country. So the video's been sent for approval from Andrew, the CEO. And once he gives me the go-ahead, because I've done the video now, it should be out Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So give that a watch. It's well worth a look. It certainly opens people's eyes, I think. And I've done this, and I did another assisted living video a while ago, and that got 13,000 views. So hopefully this one will do better because it is a better facility in my mind as well. He's hit the nail on the head, and it is fantastic for those people in their older age who want to be taken care of and looked after in a better surroundings in your golden years, in your later years, to enjoy life. Because I wouldn't like to be sat in a nursing home or a retirement home back in the UK. My mother was in there for a week, and I went and visited my mother, and it's just like, I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like to think that I'd see my days out in a nursing home like that. Anyway, again, that's my own personal opinion. We all have our own opinions on this, but there are ways and means of living over here in a retirement home where it'll cost you next to nothing. And there are ways, and I'm going to do other videos with regard to how you can do that and how you can benefit from the system by doing such a radical move as to moving over to here in Thailand for your retirement, nursing and after care of life in your later years. So this subject is going to go on and on and on, and because I've got plenty of solutions for all of these questions, and this is just the start of it. So if I get enough people who are interested in it, then I'll do more videos on it. But yeah, so watch the video when it comes out next week. Let's have a look. Scott Green, I think Thailand is a great place to retire. It is. I've lived here for 12 years and I've loved every single year. What happened to the YouTuber, her expat retirement? Yeah, she's living a good life in Jomtien, the last I heard. Sadly, she got a few trolls on her YouTube channel, and she decided she didn't need to. And she got some quite horrible trolls. So sadly, she decided that she doesn't need to deal with people like that. So she stopped doing the YouTube channel. I think, what she had going, when she came to see me, she had 121 subscribers. And when she left to go back to America to pack everything up, she had almost 1,000 subscribers. So in the space of 3 weeks, she got 800 extra subscribers, and I think she had a winning formula with regard to what her plans were to do. But as I say, she's moved on from there now. She's living a happy life in Jomtien. Whether she's going to move anywhere else or not, I don't really know. I wish her the best. She was a nice lady, and hopefully everything will work out for her. She's pulled the trigger now. She's totally left San Francisco, and now she's living in Jomtien. So yeah, sadly her channel closed. I think she had a good channel, or the makings of a good channel, because she got a lot of interest, but also she got a lot of trolls as well. Come on, people. How about a thumbs up for Les? It costs nothing. Thank you very much, Peter. Hang on, we've got 32 thumbs up. We've got 57 people in the house. So yeah, them thumbs up actually help the, you'll have heard this so many times, YouTube algorithms. And it does. I mean, I'm almost on 9,000 subscribers now. I was aiming for 10,000 subscribers before the end of this year, but I'm happy with 9. If I get to 9,000 subscribers, so I'm only 10 or 11 subscribers short of getting the 9,890. Oh no, 100 odd. 890. Yeah. I'm a few short of 9,000 anyway. And so it's took me 4 years, almost 4 years, to get to 9,000 subscribers. I'm not the most interesting channel I know on here, but again, for me, there's no BS. This is the reality of Les's living in Thailand. Oh, thanks for the extra thumbs up. Now we've got 38. Thanks very much for the thumbs up. So there are some other interesting videos in Pattaya, but that is a different audience. My audience are the people who've got the girlfriend, got the wife, want to live a quiet life. This is everyday living. All my videos are on everyday living here in Thailand. I do a bit of DIY, do a bit of solar, do a bit of, out and about videos for holidays and hotel reviews and houses and things like that. So it's a bit of a mixture of everything. So, but sometimes I might only get, 1,000 or 2,000 views. And, some of the other YouTube channels can get 10 or 20,000 on discussing where the best beef burger is in Pattaya. So, Les, how to live the dream in Rayong or eat a beef burger in Pattaya. 2,000 views or 20,000 views. But Pattaya is an entertaining place, that is for sure. And it's like a forever green subject, because every year guys get divorced. Every year guys get, breakups and business failures, and they get to that time of life. There's got to be more to life than living what I'm doing. And Pattaya is, for me, it's the land of Pinocchio, because there's a price to pay when you go and live in Pattaya for a long time. But it's a wonderful place. I like Pattaya. Every now and then we go let our hair down, because the bars and the live entertainment there is good. So I don't knock Pattaya at all. It is what it is. But Thailand is a wonderful place. Once you've got your girl, once you've got your life, you want to move away from Pattaya, in my mind, because Pattaya can destroy people. It does destroy people. And I live out in the suburbs here. I'm not a bar drinker. I'm not a bar person. So this to me is my heaven. This to me is Les retired and living the dream, because this is where I live. I always liked the idea of living in the countryside in the UK, but it was always beyond my reach, because I could never afford to live in the countryside in England. But yet here in Thailand, I have a beautiful house, a beautiful wife, beautiful lifestyle, and I sing praises about it. And has it come easy? No, it hasn't. I've had to make hard decisions to be able to live the life leaving the country, it's some big steps. But sometimes the rewards outweigh the pain and the discomfort it takes to move to a different country. And my suggestion is come live here for 6 months, see if you like it or if you don't, and then before you pull the trigger. But I do not regret one single minute of living here. And I sing its praises as I do every time I'm on here. I never knock Thailand because for me, it's a wonderful place to be. Let's have a look. Come on, Peter. Yeah, thanks very much, Peter. We've gained a few now. We're up to 42. Thanks very much, Peter, for saying that. Is there a bar scene in Rayong? Yes, there is. Well, there's bars sort of everywhere. There's even a couple of bars near us, but nowhere near like everywhere else. Melonpun Beach, there's probably more bars along there. That's sort of the bar. Even in Banpei, there's a few bars in Banpei, but it's not a big bar place. That's what I'm saying. If you like the bars, Rayong isn't the place for you to come and live. But if you like the quiet side with nice restaurants and there is some nice bar areas and there's some nice places here that you can go and eat along the beach type thing, but it's not the bar scene. But there certainly is bars over here, and that there are also ladies of the night in this area also. So, but it's nowhere near the extent it is in Jomtien and Pattaya. Hello, Les. What is your favourite area in Bangkok? Oh, okay, I'll come on to that in a minute. Do you own a pet, Les? No, I don't own a pet. And the reason why I don't own a pet is because a pet is tying. I'd love a dog. I like dogs. I've always wanted a dog. But because we can pack the suitcase and go away tomorrow at the drop of a hat. If you have a dog or a pet, then you need somebody to look after it. So I forego having a dog or a cat or chickens or ducks, which are all that are wanted as well, to be able to, at the drop of a hat, we can go. It's like last week, we went to Hua Hin for 2 days. We only decided the day before that we were going to go to Hua Hin. Now, if you had a pet or a dog, you can't do that. Although there are pet hotels that you can take your pets to. Too tiring for me. Maybe it's when I get old. I know I'm old now. I can't see me ever having a dog because I value my holidays. I value the freedom that not having a pet gives you. I went to see one of my friends today, and he has 4 dogs, and I pet their dogs, and and I like the dogs and the cats and things like that. But it's nice also not to be tied down to your house by having a pet or a dog or a cat or chickens. Let's have a look. Yes, there are. So, yeah, there's some bad. I'm 74-year-old Les, and I will also see my last days out here as this is my home now. Well done. 75-year-old. Good. Or 74-year-old. I'm putting a year on you. Sorry, 74-year-old. Straight. Les, what is question, Les? What if Alan's land? What if aliens land? Well, I think they've already landed. But before we get on to aliens, the question is what do I think the best place is in Thailand? I've been to that many places, and there's a bit of beauty in everywhere. But I've got to say one of my favourite places is Pai. Pai in Thailand is up near Chiang Mai. It's about 2 hours away from Chiang Mai. Pai is probably the only other place I would seriously think about living in Pai in Thailand, because it is so laid back, stunningly beautiful. The people are friendly enough. It's up in the mountains. That's the only thing that would put me up, because I've always grown up by the sea. I don't go to the beach every single day, but I like the beach. And Pai is about 6 or 7 hours away from the beach. So it's too far to go. But stunningly beautiful. And it does have seasons as well, because in the wintertime, it does get chilly on the night time. But during the day, it's lovely and warm. So yeah, Pi. If you've never been to Pi, anybody that's never been to Pi, Pai, have a look at it in Google. It's stunningly beautiful. It is a wonderful place to go and see. So getting back to aliens landed. I think we've all noticed all of the extra talking of the aliens landing and the Area 51 and stuff like that, and them top people who with high security clearance are talking about aliens and things like that. I think they're already here. I think it is, you know, when you got some bad news to tell somebody, you do it in little dribs and drabs before it all comes out. Because if the government turned around and said, "Oh, the aliens are here, they're going to take over the world, everybody's going to die," the whole economy would collapse. I think it's important. In my own opinion, I think it's impossible that we're not already amongst aliens, because we live. There's a book called The Little Blue Dot, and we live on the little blue dot. And if you look into infinity, into the sky, it just goes on forever. Now that's impossible. Impossible that anything goes on forever. So if that is possible, that means there's nothing impossible. So I think there's some big news coming with regard to extraterrestrials and aliens and things like that. And let's face it, I think maybe we could do with a little bit of interjection from aliens to stop us from destroying ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we're set on destroying ourselves, I think, with all the wars that's going on. That's just ridiculous. Didn't we ever learn anything from the other wars? That wars actually solve no problems. They just cause misery and misfortune and unhappiness for many, many millions of people. And that's what's going on. So hopefully the aliens will land, they'll kick our asses and put everything back together and hopefully rule us better than the people that rule us at the minute. Is that going to happen? I don't know. But let's hope somebody does come down and kick our asses and put things right, so we live in a peaceful world. 110 to go, Les. Yeah, 110 people to go before I hit 9,000. So I think I might do that with the next video that I've got with assisted living, because assisted living got me I think 200 or 300 subscribers. So we'll see. We'll go for 9,000. If it gets there, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, there's always next year. What if yeah, so that's my answer on the aliens. What do you think about the aliens? Do you think they're already here? I think so. Oh, there's definitely a few aliens in Pattaya. Well, I mean, look at AI. I mean, let's face it, AI, you know, could women be done away with you think women could be done away with AI models, with what the Japanese are developing? And you can imagine, you can go and pick the AI model that you want, and it'll be the girl that never says no, and you can have a conversation with it because of AI. It might be even cleverer than you, even though it's a robot. And when all's said and done, some of these AI models that they've already got are stunningly beautiful. So do you think women could be replaced by AI models? And do you think the women will be frightened about that? Because we could always switch them off when they start nagging. You just switch them off. So would you go out with the AI model? Because some of the photographs that people have put on YouTube and like for thumbnails and things like that, stunningly beautiful women from a photograph from an everyday looking girl, sort of a bland looking girl made to be looking stunningly beautiful, all by photographs and AI. Hi Les, we'll be over there on the 17th of January, start our retired living in the dream. Good. House was built 2 years ago, and we popped over 5 weeks ago for a fortnight to finish it off prior to that moving in January. Oh, good for you. So where's your house that you've just built, Callum? But good luck to you. January, I mean, it's just around the corner now, isn't it? You know, what a start to a new year. You know, good for you moving over here. The royal family are aliens, yeah. They could be. They live in a different world, that's for sure. The beach war is business. Hi, Les, just logged on aliens. Yeah, we're talking about aliens. You think aliens are here? And I would say, hopefully, aliens do come and kick our backsides and put the world back to a right, because they couldn't certainly do a worse job than what our governments and politicians and everybody's doing right now, because the world is in a mess, isn't it? And again, the elite, the top 1% of the elite own the wealth of the 99% of the other people in the world. How can that be good for everybody? That 1% of the world's elite owns the wealth of the 99%. There's enough wealth in the world that nobody would ever have to starve or struggle, but those people that have got it don't want to give it away. Karat, yeah. My wife lives, well, she's got a house up in Karat near CQ, but that is a village, and I am the only foreigner in the village. And when we go up there, we go for 3 or 4 weeks, and it's beautiful, beautiful countryside where she lives. All farmland, but stunningly beautiful sunsets there. And it's just nice because, you know, in reality, we've got 2 houses. We've got a country house, which is my wife's farm, and it's stunningly beautiful where she lives in the village. And then we have this one down by the beach. So we spend our time in between Karat and here. And we're going up to Karat to go and see a family in January, you know, wish them Happy New Year and things like that. So it's nice when we go up there. And getting back to the somebody who asked about, do I have a pet or my wife's family have a dog up there who goes absolutely crackers when I come up and see him, because he knows he gets treats and I give him extra food, and he actually gets to lay inside the house, which their family don't allow the dogs inside of the house. But when I'm there, he's allowed to come in the house because I'll let him in. So he's always happy to see me. But he also frets when I go as well, you know, because they say he might not eat for 2 or 3 days because, you know, from having somebody who strokes him at every opportunity to like no strokes and Les is gone. Yep, Karat is a nice place. Karat City as well is a big city, and it's there's plenty of entertainment goes on in Karat for certainly Songkran and things like that. So yeah, Karat is a nice part of the world. So well done, and have a happy life up there. Oh, I'm the guy from Mask by the Sea. Oh, just down the road from me from Mask. Oh yeah. Yeah, I lived in Mask for a little while. I was going out with a girl in Mask, so I think we went out together for about 2 years, and it just fizzled out. It didn't work, and everybody called me a mug when I left here. But if a relationship doesn't work, it doesn't work. So that's why I walked. David Barker, Les, do you have a secret spot you'd like to go to in Thailand? If so, could you share a secret spot? I would say Pai. Somebody asked me my best place in Thailand was Pai. Now, we went to Pai for 3 years in a row for Christmas and New Year. So we spent Christmas in Pai and New Year in Chiang Mai to let the candles off, or the lanterns off in Chiang Mai. That's just a magical moment. But Christmas in Pai, it was just stunningly beautiful. Now, we went there for 3 years, and the wife asked whether we could. She never demanded. Thai girls never really demand, but she put it in such a way. She said, "Listen, we've been here now for 3 years in a row. Can we go somewhere else?" And I can't remember. Maybe it's 4 years ago now since we were in Pai. And actually, this year she said, "If you want to go back to Pai next year, Les, we can go back to Pai." And I said, "Yeah, okay." So it's Kokud for this year for Christmas, and then next year for sure it's Pai. for Christmas, and then New Year in Chiang Mai. So I'm looking forward to that already, and it's a year away. So yeah, that's my secret little spot location for just. In fact, I think we'll just go there for a month because I just love it there. It's stunningly beautiful, and you know, we always, although we take the car there, we always hire a motorbike, so we just go around places on the motorbike, and it's so that's my little secret spot. My little secret location is Pai in near Chiang Mai, about 2 hours away from Chiang Mai. So yeah, for those people who've never been, go to Pai for sure. Yep. Okay. So what else? What else has gone on this week? I'm sure there's something else gone on this week, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh yeah, there's a bit of flu or something going around. My wife's been ill for 5 days, and like today's the first day she's sort of getting over it. So thankfully, touch wood, I've not caught whatever she's had, but she's had a really bad cough and a really sort of flu-like symptoms. And a son who lives up in Karat, he's had the same problems. My wife's a member of a few groups around here, and it would appear that lots of people have been ill with this particular bug, that you get a cough and a really sore throat and headaches from, and it's not very good. It's not very nice. But there's a lot of that going on around here at the minute. So been to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. I actually proposed to my wife in Chiang Rai at the tea farm. My wife always said to me when we first met, she said she'd like to go to the tea farms in Chiang Rai, and so I took her up to the Chiang Rai tea farm, and I proposed to her again. This was about 6 years ago now, and just a wonderful place. This Chiang Rai is some beautiful places in Chiang. Again, mountainous, and there's some beautiful hotels up in the mountains, stunningly beautiful views. So yeah, the tea farm at Chiang Mai, that's where I proposed to my wife. Such a beautiful location. Well worth, again, but there's plenty of stunningly beautiful places in Thailand. You know, I would say to watch a person going around all the places in Thailand. Paddy Doyle, he visited all 77 provinces in Thailand. So if you want to have a good look around Thailand, have a look at Paddy Doyle's videos, because he's done an exceptional tour around Thailand, and he visited all 77 provinces. And Paddy Doyle did some really, really good videos on all the places that he went. So Paddy Doyle was one of my favorite YouTubers, but now he's moved. I don't know where he is now, but because he did Thailand, he went to Laos and Vietnam and that, and he's certainly gone off the radar now, because he doesn't do anything to do with in Thailand now. He's moved further afield. What company do you use for car insurance? It's where is it? I forget what it is now. It's one with a kangaroo on it. Anyway, I've had the same insurance company for 3 years now, and I just renew it online. Ruja something, Ruja, I think it is. And my car, they put the valuation at 310,000 because it's 4-year-old now, and the premium for that was 6,600 for fully comprehensive for the year. Ruja, I think it is. But if you Google car insurance, Ruja is one of the top 10 insurance companies that will come up in Thailand. And again, you only know how good an insurance company is if you need to claim, and hopefully, touch wood, we'll never need to claim. So, yeah, insurance is quite cheap here in Thailand anyway. Let's have a look. Frank Travels awesome live stream. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. Much appreciated. And we've still got 51 people in the house, which is always good. And we've been going for an hour and a half now, which is good. So, right. From Booyai up Nakan Booyai. I don't know where not heard of Booyai. Well, there's so many villages up in, but Karat is in Nakhon Rakashima is good. I like it up there. Les, have you ever travelled on the sleeper train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai? No, but I've travelled on a sleeper train from when I was in Vietnam, from Hanoi to Sapa, which was beautiful, and I've been on a sleeper train from Singapore all the way up to Thailand. That was good. So yeah, we've been on sleeper trains. I like the train travel, and maybe next year I'm going to take my wife to Kuala Lumpur and we're going to go on the train. We're going to go to Kuala Lumpur and then go to Penang. So I'll spend a little bit of time in Malaysia, but we're going to go down to Bangkok, leave the car at Bangkok and go on the train to Malaysia and then come on the train back again. So, because my wife doesn't like flying, so we have to take the car or the train because she doesn't like flying at all. So she wants to avoid flight travel as much as she can. I don't blame her. You know, she's scared. We went on the plane from Bangkok to Phuket, and then from Phuket to Singapore, then from Singapore back, and then we flew to Bali, and both times I've still got the fingernail marks in my hand. So she just doesn't like flying. She likes being on the floor, on the road. And then she says, you know, once you're on the floor, you're okay, you're safe. But don't they say air travel is probably one of the safest things that you can travel on at the minute is a plane as opposed to everything else. Yeah. I am having the second class aircon. Yeah, the train journeys, it's just like slow, but I've been on the bullet train also in Japan and China, and that's another experience. Is the silky smoothness of the bullet train in China was just like, wow, you know, I think 180 miles an hour it was doing, or 180 kilometers it was doing, and it was silky smooth. There was no rocking, and the sound is really, really good. Very, very quiet. Paddy Dog comes across as your typical school snitch. That would be the one that reported you to the teachers at school. I don't know. He's got a way about him. You know, I can see he's not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought he was okay. A YouTube narcissist. All right. Yeah. Well, I liked him. Well, maybe it's for his coverage of what he did. I liked him with his little dreamy motorbike, a 27-year-old little Honda motorbike. He did well. He certainly crushed it with his numbers and his viewing figures and things like that. But funny enough, he used to be a school teacher. So then he turned to be a YouTuber. And I'm sure I heard today he's got some UK TV presenter. He's a UK TV presenter now on some other show. So I don't know. We took the sleeper train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai multiple times, second class, safe, as if you are thinking about it. Totally fine. We'll do it again. Yeah, we'll. Train travel is good. I mean, the drive up to Chiang Mai from here, from our house to Chiang Mai, is 14 hours. So it's a long, long drive. So we do it over a 2-day period. So we stop usually in a place called Pare or Phare, Phare, and that's roughly halfway there. Beautiful little hotel there. But I don't like driving in the dark. So wherever we drive, if it gets to 6 o'clock, we'll stop wherever we are and we'll just stay the night because hotel accommodation is so cheap here. You know, you can get somewhere from 700 to 1,000 baht a night, and I'd much sooner do that than traveling in the dark. So yeah, so just travel, do wherever you want, and then 14 hours. But the train like you say, silky smooth. Going to train, you can have something to eat and have a drink. Train travel is good. But he travels around Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, and I can't say that I like any of them over Thailand. Well, I quite like Vietnam. I travelled from the south of Vietnam all the way to the north, and I liked every part of Vietnam. There's nothing I didn't like about it. Okay, there's a little bit more rip-off, I think, in Vietnam than there is in Thailand, but I like Vietnam. I've never been to Laos and never been to Cambodia. And would I go? It's on my list. It's on my list of places to go. But what I've heard of, like Sihanoukville in Cambodia, it's a place now that there's lots and lots of violence now because of casinos and things like that. So would I want to go there? I don't think so. How did you meet? He's a typical YouTuber narcissist. Okay. Question, Les. I think you missed my humour and point about aliens landing. I was referring to you. What question? Oh yeah, yeah, it's okay. But no, I think aliens have landed. Whether it's a tongue-in-cheek question or not, but I think the aliens have landed. Yes. Good day, Les. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much. No Indian up north. Great. Yeah, the Indians are everywhere in Pattaya. Do I like the? When I went to India, I went to India, and I liked India, but it was dirty, filthy, smelly. But the people were nice. But I found the Indians obnoxious over here in Thailand. They're just not very nice people. We went and we booked into a hotel. We didn't know it was one of the hotels in Pattaya that we'd never ever been before. And we booked in there for 2 nights. And after the first night, my wife said, I don't want to stop in here. There was many Indians in there, and my wife was just ogled at all the time by the Indians. And she just felt so uncomfortable. And we were the only white people in the hotel. Everybody there in the hotel was Indians. So we moved from that hotel and moved to a different hotel. They're cheeky. They're, just... My wife was getting a foot massage, and 3 Indians came in, and it was 200 baht an hour for a massage. And they wanted to have 20 minutes each to have a massage. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and still pay the 200 baht. So the lady told them to politely go away. So they're just cheeky people. And the mannerisms of them, it's just not very nice. So why Thailand wants them to come here all the time, I don't know. They seem to think that the Indians are going to spend lots and lots of money, but they don't. They have 1 bottle of beer between 3 or 4 of them. They never go in the bars. And in a couple of soapies that we went into, showing people around, there was like 20 or 30 Indians ogling all the ladies and not one drink in between them. So they're not the high spending Indian people that the government seem to think they are. Let's have a look. Did that American lady retire? You had helped get settled and returning to the States? No. She's moved. She's actually left the United States now, San Francisco, and she's moved to Jomtien in Thailand. So she hasn't wrote to me in a while, but I sent her a goodwill message and that. And the last time I spoke to her was she was on the cruise coming from America to Japan, then from Japan to Thailand. But yeah, she, what I've heard, the last time I spoke to her, she was happy in that, and she's just moving in a different direction now. She lives in a, different lifestyle to us, if you like. So she's quite an independent lady. So now we sort of pointed her in the right direction for visas and bank accounts and things like that. So she's sort of got everything open now, and she's living in Jomtien. and everything is sorted for her now. You know, she's on the doorstep of everything that she needs. So there's plenty of people there to help her out also. So I wish her the best of luck, and I'm sure she'll have a much safer life here in Thailand than she would do in San Francisco, where she didn't like and she felt threatened. Do you know? Did the American lady retire you? Yeah, as I say, she's in Jomtien. £12 for a second class aircon. Oh, that's the train. Yeah, train travel is very cheap over here. Yeah. Rotty lady has become very famous for just doing a job and had a lucky break. Nothing more in reality, kind of thing Italian would be excited about. Yeah, but she's certainly, she's scantily clad, quite a good looking lady doing rotties, showing her boobs and things like that. Sex sells and she knows it. And I think she's become a YouTube phenomenon because of what she does. And I've seen a couple of other videos. It does, frankly, does nothing for me. It's sort of a one-hit wonder. You know, she makes some rotties scantily clad, and you put any scantily clad ladies on the YouTube, and they're gonna get millions and millions of views. She does what she does. Hopefully, she lives a happy, successful life because of showing her boobs off whilst cooking rotties. After speaking to you on your last live feed, we have decided to get a building company to build our house in Udentani and don't get the family involved. Yeah, like I said, I've spoken to many people who've got houses built, and by far the worst idea is to get family involved, because then that causes all sorts of problems, all sorts of mischief, because the family don't do it right. And with Thailand, nobody likes to say no. For instance, I mean, the builders or the people that we've had at our house doing some work, I would certainly never ever recommend them to do any work to anybody else. They say, oh yes, we can do that, we can do that. But in reality, when they come and do it, they're not very good at it at all. So, as I say, and getting family involved, because if family getting involved in building it, you know, you can't tell them off for not doing, you know, good work, because then that's face. And if you make them look bad, you know, you're the bad person for making them look bad, even though maybe they are bad. If you use a building company, once they finish your project, they walk away and they'll just move on to another project. So at least with a building company, you've got, for me, my idea, you've got some say about it. There's a friend of mine got an extension built at his house, and he's a perfectionist. He really wants everything perfection, and he's had more arguments with his Thai builders because it isn't how he wants it. And he asks them, and he tries to tell them to do it the way he wants to do it, and no, he's had the arguments with it. And that's what I find with people over here, is that perfection is sort of an unknown word over here. It will do, and that there are so many people. Oh, it's not perfect, but it'll do. It's not. It'll do. You know, it's not perfect. Like the fence. I mean, that you can see that fence there. I mean, there's something like 10 panels, and the guy, when he came and painted it, I'm probably 85% happy with the work that he did, and but the rust is already starting to come through. So he didn't do the perfect job, because I wanted all the rust removing and a painting job. So, but now I can repair. Now the rainy season finished, I can actually scrub the rust bits off and repaint it and do it. And but getting back to the building wise, I would recommend all the time to use a building company, because family getting involved with a building, it's going to be a heartache. But so well done for getting a building company. I'm sure you had a few arguments or a few words spoken with regard to not employing the family to build your house. Let's have a look. Yeah. This being into your last. Okay, that's good. There's many thanks for the bank account advice. Sent you my number for a conference. Regards. Message. Okay, yeah. With the opening a bank account, everybody that's wrote to me, it is difficult to open a bank account. So you've got to use an agent to be able to open up a bank account. And as I say, there's agents all over Thailand for opening bank accounts. Okay, it might be 4,500-5,000 baht to open up a bank account, but it's like a chicken and egg scenario. You can't get a retirement visa unless you got a bank account, and you can't get a bank account unless you got a retirement visa. And unless you've got a big lump of money to put in a bank account, and if you're just on a tourist visa, it's very, very difficult. So there are still people who, you can go and get a bank account. Yeah, it's dead easy. But I know people who've been to 20 different branches and still never ever opened up a bank account because they would just say, no, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to use an agent. But eventually they used an agent and got the bank account opened, and that was a cost of 4,500 baht. But imagine going to 20 different branches and getting to no. So agents do have their value. So I'm glad you got sorted out with opening up a bank account, and well done. That's just another step of your retirement plans here, opening a bank account, because it's important. So it's easy. Just use the right people, and if you want to make life a little bit simpler, agents are the way to go, and the way to do it is to make life easy for yourself. So yeah, and anybody that wants, I do a WhatsApp face-to-face communications or talk with anybody. So if anybody wants to give me a call, ask any questions, as many questions as you want. And what I do, I charge $10 for a video conference, face-to-face conference. And if you don't get the information that you want, then you don't pay. It's as simple as that. And you don't pay until after you've had the talk. So therefore, it's like a win-win situation. $10. If it takes an hour, great. If it takes 2 hours, it's still $10. And there are many other YouTubers that offer this service also. But for me, I think I'm the cheapest at $10. And at the end of the day, I can give you the same information as, like, I could name 2 or 3 other YouTubers that charge $45 to $60 for a 30-minute chat with them. I charge $10, and the only reason why I charge $10 because I get that many people asking the questions. I could spend all day talking to people and do absolutely nothing. So $10 isn't a lot to pay at the end of the day. And the $10, you get all the information, the contacts of the people that you need to go to, and it sorted out just like that for $10. It's probably the best $10 you'd ever spend if you're seriously thinking about coming to Thailand. And I'm sure there's people I've probably helped here on the chat that could just, reaffirm that with regard to, the information I provide is good. And I've got to say, I've never, ever failed as to pointing people in the right direction. So yeah, if anybody wants to do a video chat, I'll put my email on there and we can arrange a chat. Let's Pearson 58. So just send me an email, and we arrange a chat, and then I'm probably not going to do any more. I've got one talk on Thursday, but I can't do any more until after Christmas, until I come back, really. So that's sort of it for this year. But it can be done, as I say. I've lived here for 12 years, so I know a little bit about living here. I can point people in the right direction, give them some advice. Whether you take my advice or whether you don't, I would say to listen to all of the YouTubers who live over here, because they've got some good advice, and you just listen, disseminate, and pick the ones that you want to do. Everybody's got their spin on living here, and I'm no different to everybody else. I'm not right in everything that I do or everything that I say, but listen to what everybody else has to say, and then just make your own mind up, or just listen to the advice. Hey Les, I'm going now, so have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. Thanks very much. Same to you. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. Have the best time this year, type of thing, and best wishes for your future plans. But yeah, I mean, we're so close to Christmas, but there's no Christmas buzz here because there's, I even got rid of our Christmas tree because we always go away for Christmas and New Year. So I used to put it up, and then we used to go on holiday, come back, and then take it down. So the Christmas tree was on its own all the time. So no, I've thrown the Christmas tree out. Getting a place built by a building company well over a year behind schedule. Wow. Wife has to keep paying extra for a decent fittings as they use the cheapest possible. I mean, using a company to build, you've got to get the, referrals from other people, talk to other people as well, because again, I'm sorry to hear that it sounds like you're having a hard time with your builder. But that's the same worldwide, really. There's good builders and bad builders, and not always the cheapest builders are the best. It's sort of a bit of a nightmare. There was one guy that I know here who got a house built, and his roof didn't fit. It wasn't square. And when the rainy season came, all the water came in, and the building company refused to repair it. All the water came in, caused 60,000 bahts worth of damage to the ceiling and his furniture, because he doesn't live here full time. And the building company refused to fix it. It cost 180,000 baht to take the roof off and fix it and make it square so the water didn't run in. So yeah, you can have problems here. I mean, there's a house just getting built. I'm overlooking the house now, and everything is made by hand. Even the roof, there's no prefabricated roof joist or roof fabrication here. Everything is done by hand. So it doesn't take much to make a roof not square. But the builders that I've seen building this house over here, I think just looking at them, they know what they're doing. So yeah, getting a good building company, ask for referrals, see what other jobs they've done. But it is a little bit of a, lucky choice, and not all builders are the best. Flying to the Philippines for a visa run December 30th. Also, you'll be in the Philippines for New Year. It sounds right then. Well, good luck to the Philippines. Never been to the Philippines, but again, it's on my list. A place I want to go and have a look at. I experienced that being married to a Thai UK on the UK marriage certificate. You need to get it legalised with UK government, then with a Thai embassy in London. Otherwise, Thai immigration won't recognise it. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I got married in Thailand, but I got it ratified, so it's valid in the UK. So yeah. So when I pop my clogs, and the wife can claim my my pension, private pension, she needs all the certification. So that's why we got it all translated in English as well, so she can send that we actually are married and legally married, and it's been ratified. That's cheap, Les. Well done. What's that? Oh yeah, the $10. Yeah, thanks very much. $10 worth every penny, Paul. Thanks very much. We're lucky enough to get the bank account open without an agent, but a lot harder down due to money. And money. Against the Ruskies that have done that, because the Ruskies were coming up, open bank account, and they're money laundering. They're washing their money here. So that's made it harder for everybody else here. Philip from Newcastle, underline. Family coming to Thailand, first time at the age of 67, January the 9th, month 2 of visiting main spots. Thanks for all your info. All the best. Maybe even meet up in Rayong. Yeah, that would be good. As I said, my stepdad came here over 80 years old, and he loved it. He was here for 3 weeks. He had a smile on his face from here to here for the full 3 weeks, and he loved it. And he had many a good conversation back in the UK with all the guys, because I took him down to Soy 6. Nothing happened, obviously, but he just wanted to go and see. And when he sat in the bar talking to the guys in the bar back in Redcar, you went down Soy? Yeah, they showed me everything, Soy 6. There's nothing I didn't see. He lived for 4 years after his visit to Thailand. He never, ever stopped talking about it. He loved it. Thailand is a wonderful, it's got many experiences and, once in a lifetime opportunities that you can nowhere else in the world. With the UK marriage certificate, Thai authorities, James, your wife, are still being single in Thailand, even though you are legally married in the UK. With the UK marriage certificate, the Thai authorities, Jim, your wife, is still. Oh yeah, so that's why you've got to get it legalized in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangkok. Yeah, if you're a single guy, you'll have a great time in Thailand. It's a wonderful place. There's no other place on the planet like Thailand. As far as being a single guy, it's good. Got some reasonable time flight prices. Heathrow, Bangkok, one-way flight is February, £550-ish. Oh, that's not too bad, yeah. I mean, I remember in the days you used to get a return flight for £450 to Thailand. And when I went back to England last year, I got there and back for less than £1,000 on single way flights. I think I was lucky on the flight coming back because it was Friday the 13th. So with superstition and that, lots of people didn't fly on Friday the 13th. So I think the flight prices were cheap for that time of the year. So I got it, and the return flight back from London, from Newcastle back to Thailand was about 560 quid, something like that. So I was happy at paying that price. But there and back for less than £1,000. But it's actually more expensive to fly from England to Thailand than it is to fly from Thailand back to England. Always found it strange how they have all the Christmas paraphernalia. When it comes to the actual day, nothing actually happens. Even got the Christmas day for the Thais don't celebrate Christmas side of things, but they also now have clicked onto because there's plenty of Phalangs, and Phalangs spend plenty of money for Christmas. I mean, the Christmas meals to a Thai restaurant, it's no difference, but the Christmas meals are more expensive than they are any time of the, you can go pay twice as much almost for a Christmas meal in a Thai restaurant, because the fact that it's Christmas and no foreigners will pay more money for a Christmas meal. So yeah, I mean, as I said, Christmas time for my wife is totally different because she doesn't believe in Christmas and that, because that is Buddhism and that. So we sort of have stopped celebrating Christmas here. There's no Christmas presents for the wife, or the wife doesn't get me any Christmas presents. It's just another non-day, really. But I still enjoy Christmas Day because we always go away for holiday. And that is our Christmas present to each other, is that we'll go away on a holiday. Don't buy a present. She doesn't buy me presents because it's just fake. She's just doing it because it's like commercialism. She sort of expected to do it. And we've moved away from that now. So yeah, our Christmas is totally different. There's no Christmas presents under the Christmas tree, things like that. Some people might say bar humbug, but it took a lot of years before we've got to that. So anyway, so that's Christmas with us in Kokud. Always found it strange how, Martin Banner, which bank, if you don't mind? Oh, is that to somebody? Well, the bank that I'm in with the Bangkok Bank. Oh yeah, Bangkok Bank. was nearly 3 years ago. Some banks won't even entertain you. Yeah, that's what it is now. Would you like to bring a piece of Redcar rock? Well, if you can't fit a lemon top in, a piece of Redcar rock will do, yeah. I mean, I like Redcar. I lived in Redcar from the age of 11 up until the age of 50 when I left Redcar, and I went around the world for 2 years, and that just sort of opened my eyes. But when I was 42 and I got divorced, I knew then I would never, ever, I didn't want to live in England when I retired. I wanted to travel the world. It's always been in my blood, traveling, and I love travel. So when I got the opportunity to retire at 50, how many people can get the opportunity to retire at 50? I was lucky in the right job, and you know, I could retire at 50 on a pension. So I grasped it with both hands. There's some guys that I used to work with are still working. You know, they're retired from the fire brigade and working at other jobs, and I'd much prefer, okay, I don't have as much money as them, but I think my lifestyle, I'm happy with my lifestyle, being retired, traveling, doing exactly what I want to do, as and when I want to do, and living in a country that I can afford to live in this country with the money that I'll get from the UK. So I'm forever grateful for the UK for providing me with the opportunities to be able to do this at the age of 50. Being in, you know, I joined the fire brigade at 19. Now, at 19-year-old, you never ever think of retirement. And when the interviewing officer said to me, I can retire at 50, from a 19-year-old to 50, that was like donkey's years away. And like, who thinks of retiring when you first start your job at 19? So I was in the right job, right location, right time. So I grasped at it when I got to 50, and I retired on my 50th birthday and never looked back. Right, what else? Stick a red card, yeah. Maybe we're lucky, but the bank account was straightforward. Yeah, I mean, you can open it if you've got a house or a condo or something like that. The more documentation you've got, then you can maybe open a bank account, but it's still very, very difficult. Capricorn Bank is a good bank, but probably one of the best banks. And if you're going to use an agent, the banks, they're like the Bangkok Bank. There's more favourable terms, I think, with the Bangkok Bank than the Capricorn Bank. And also, if you're getting money transferred over by Wise, Wise and Bangkok Bank have an agreement. So then you can transfer funds from Wise to the Bangkok Bank. And what that shows, it shows as a foreign transfer. And when you're doing your bank statements, that's what the immigration want to see, is that your bank statements are from a foreign transfer from your home country. So I've had a Bangkok bank account now for 10 years. 10 years, because before I used to just draw my money out with the ATM, but now with the ATM, I think it's 220 baht for every time you draw money out of the ATM. And we do all the banking online, so we pay everything. So I actually only draw cash out for my spending money once a month, and we do it in one lump sum. So 20,000, it cost me 30,000 baht to take the money out of the bank. Everything else is done online. My son is hoping to come February, a stepdaughter getting married. Return flight showing £800, so coming down. Yeah, well, I think what the airlines are doing, they're trying to recoup all the money that they've lost through the COVID type of thing. So flight prices have just rocketed. So, and with the cost of living crisis and things like that, people think about it twice before they're booking their flights or holidays to anywhere else, because it's just so expensive. You know, holidays. The sun is the sun at the end of the day. So most people are going to the European holidays because it's cheaper than the long haul holidays. Just been to Macro, plenty of Christmas chocolates and the like for sale. Yeah, like all the shopping malls, and certainly Thai Watts do, Christmas trees, hundreds of Christmas trees and Christmas decorations and things like that. But a turkey, I remember maybe 4 years or so ago now, a friend of mine, I was in Pattaya, and she said, "Oh, Les, can you get me a Christmas turkey?" it was 5,000 baht for a turkey, for a medium-sized turkey. 5,000 baht for a turkey. So that obviously didn't happen. Well, sorry for scratching my nose now, but now it's dusk here, and the little mosquito, little flies are flying out all over the place. So just over 2 hours now, we've still got 45 people in the house. Thank you very much for all those people who are still watching. And if anybody's got any questions, just put a queue and ask whatever questions you want to ask. So yeah, Macro, we love Macro and Tesco Lotus for our shopping. Well, it's not Tesco, it's just Lotus now. It used to be Tesco Lotus, it's just called Lotus now. Time to go now, Les. I'll be in touch with my flat is sold, hopefully in January. I can't wait to be on that one-way ticket to Udon Thani. Okay, good. Best of luck with the flat sale and Udon Thani. It's a nice place, so best wishes for your future plans, and I hope all goes well. I'm sure it will. Casticon also shows is an international transfer from my. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, I didn't know about that. And I know Bangkok Bank do that, so that's why I got asked. Well, that's why I got directed towards Bangkok Bank, because they have that little feature in at the bottom of it when you do from Wise, you know, the reasons for fund transfers to maintain the long-term stay in Thailand, or words to that effect. And by doing that, then it comes across still as a foreign transfer. But even though it says that a couple of times, it's actually gone to Casticon Bank. Then the Casticon Bank have done a bank-to-bank transfer, which doesn't show as a foreign transfer. So what you have to do then, you have to get print a statement out from TransferWise, and what that does, that shows the immigration officer that the money actually came from Wise, from a UK account into Casticon, then Casticon sent it to the Bangkok Bank. A couple of years ago, I was asked to provide that, so I went to Casticon Bank, and for that one letter, just to say yes, it was transferred from TransferWise, they were going to charge me 500 baht. But I printed it, the receipt out from TransferWise, and the immigration took that as proof. So that saved me 500 baht, and I thought it was a bit of a cheek for Casticon Bank to charge me 500 baht for one letter to say yes, you know, we transferred the money across from Casticon to the Bangkok Bank. Let's have a look. Worked on the railway, so had a good pension scheme, and retired at the age of 56 with a good pension with CPI increase every year. Probably similar to Les. Oh yeah, working for the railways, good idea. Yeah, I get I think next year my pension rises about 6.1% or something like that. So another £100 a month, which I'm not going to cry over. You know, it's good. Another £100 a month. It's a lot of money. Question: any tips on dodging the dengue fever? No. I think it's just one of them hit and miss things. Few people get dengue fever. Not many people die from it, as maybe is what you've heard, but you can be quite ill with it. You can get the vaccine for dengue fever, so you can get a dengue fever vaccine. Whether it does any good or not, I don't know. But thankfully, I don't get bothered by the mosquitoes very much. The wife gets bitten by the mosquitoes more than me anyway. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit chubby, that they're all health freaks, the mosquitoes around here. So to get to the blood, they have to get through the fat first. So wouldn't it be good if they had mosquitoes that just like the fat? You know, then we'd have all skinny people in Thailand, wouldn't we? Okay, no. So dengue fever, you can get a vaccine for dengue fever. So I've been here for 12 years, and I've never really suffered from, and I don't know anybody that had dengue fever. But there's Richie. Sadly, his wife has just died of dengue fever. Ricky in Thailand. He's just got 2 babies, I think, that were about 3 months old, and sadly she got dengue fever and she died. So he's an Australian guy now with 2 babies to look after. So yeah, it does happen. It does happen. People can die of dengue fever, but the majority of the time they're just really, really ill. Blah, blah, blah. Good idea if you're on a pension, travel home, claim your pension money, then back to Thailand, change it at the kiosk. You get a good exchange rate at the kiosk in Pattaya, and it's always a better rate than you get in the bank. I send the money over to the wife's Capricorn account. Yeah, but if you want a retirement visa, then you've got to have your own bank account, and it has to be transferred to you in your sole name. But the swings and roundabouts, you can't have a joint account. It has to be in your name. I have a Wise account, but so far they won't mail a physical card to my Thailand address. Okay, I've never really found much use of the Wise card. Where you can. As a friend of mine, a UK friend of mine, he's got the Wise card, and he gets money transferred over to a card, and then he pays for it. For me personally, I send a fixed amount of money over to my bank account every month, and then I know how much is in that bank account, and I have my online banking details of the Bangkok bank, so I can see what goes on anyway. And like people who use the phone and the apps to pay for everything, I don't like that. I like to feel the pain when you're taking money out your wallet. You can see it disappearing, but if you pay like that on the phone all the time, then in reality you don't feel the pain because it's coming out of your bank account. You don't actually see it. But when the physical cash comes out of your wallet, then you feel the pain. Then you can see how much there is left in your wallet at the end of the month. And again, still towards the end of the month, we're a little bit careful, and I always know how much I've got left. But if you have it in the bank, you really never know how much you have left. And one day that payment may not work. Also, nobody refuses cash. But when we went to Wahin, the guy that came with us, the Thai guy, he tried to pay for his half of the petrol by his card, and they wouldn't accept his card, so I paid it in cash. So cash never gets refused over here. A couple of dogs playing in the background, fighting. Right. Flying over on a 90-day single entry, do I have to get a return flight, or can I get a one-way? Then get a flight out to Vietnam 90 days later. Now, I've heard all sorts of things with this. If it's just a one-way, the immigration can ask, where's your return flight? So what I say to people, for ease of getting through immigration, if you like, is book a bus ticket or a cheap flight out of Thailand within 30 days or so of getting it, because you get your 30 days. If you're coming in on a 90-day visa that you've applied for before you come here, then you don't have to book the flight for 90 days. But if you're coming in on a 30-day exemption visa, then they like to say that you're going to leave Thailand, because if it's on a one-way, you might stay here and overstay. So for ease of doing it, for the cheapness of it, I think you can book a flight to Cambodia or Singapore or Malaysia for like 30 or 40 pounds. And that's then you've got the ticket. But there's people now who've even booked bus tickets, and as long as you've got confirmation that you're leaving Thailand, I think it's about 15 or 20 pounds by bus to Cambodia. And if you've got that ticket, then you're showing the Thai authorities that you're going to leave the country. Then you actually never ever use it. So that way saves problems. But other people have said, I've come in on a one-way ticket and I've never had a problem. So I get both sides of the stories. People who say, I've never had a problem, and other people, I've had a problem. And the sting in the tail is sometimes, and this is what some people have wrote to me, when they've got to immigration, they've said, we need to see that you're going to leave Thailand within the 30 days or so. So they will make them book an outward flight out of Thailand. And you can't use the Sky Scanner thing. You've got to book direct with the airline. And if you book direct with the airline, you'll pay a lot more money to book a flight. So, for instance, if you're going to, Cambodia, where it might cost you 30 quid on Skyscanner, if you book directly with the airline, it might cost 60 or up to £100 for the same flight. So it's a risk you can take, but I think for another 20 or 30 pounds or so, it's best to book a flight outside of the country within them 30 days. And because once you're here, nobody asks them questions. When you go and get your other 30-day renewal, they don't say, well, have you got a flight out of here? They'll just give you 30 days extension. So that's one of them things you've got to either take the risk or not take the risk. And I would suggest for 30, 40 pounds, it's not worth arguing over. Just book the flight or the bus fare out of Thailand, so you can just show immigration, then you'll waltz through the immigration services. Let's have a look. Flying over on a non or 90-day single entry. Yeah, well, the 90 days, actually 60 days, and then after 60 days, you've got to apply for the 30 days. So if it's a 90-day, then I wouldn't bother. You just have to show the flight out after 90 days. ATMs outside of Macro were not working. Luckily, they let people pay by scanning a QR code. Wife was in a panic and buying for her restaurant. Yeah. Again, I'd pay cash with everything. But when you're running a business, then yeah, I can understand. Then you've got the app to pay your money through the bank account. But running a business and living here, just being a tourist or a retire or a marriage visa, then it's okay. So, okay, let's have a look, see what else there is. I'll buy my retirement visa in February, January. I chose to extend it by flying out to the Philippines. Yeah, as I said, with the visas, you need at least 27, 28 days on your visa to be able to do them. So I would say if you're going to use an agent, go and see the agent first. So then you sort of know where you're splodging, because with some people, they've waited for the first week or so. And once they've waited past the first week, to open a bank account, again, you need 28 days on your visa to be able to open a bank account. And they only had 25. So then they had to extend the visa to get the extra 30 days to be able to do that. And then you still need 28 days for your application for your visa. So if you're going to use an agent, get all your ducks in a row, go and see the agent first, or if you're going to do it yourself, go to the immigration office. Because if you go to the immigration office, they are there to help you. They're not there to make life difficult for you. They will give you all the information. You can go there and say, what do I need to do? And they'll give you the paperwork, and they'll even help you fill the paperwork in. So that they are not the evil people in immigration office. They're there to help you. So don't be afraid of the immigration office. Super chat, Mark, thank you very much for the £15 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Always appreciated. And, top man, thanks very much. Thanks, mate. Google, onward travel, £10. You can actually even rent, you can even rent a flight, where you actually pay for the flight, but you don't actually take it. And again, that might be $10 or $15. But there are many ways, there are many ways you can do. But like as I say, $10, Google onward travel ticket, $10. I'd sooner pay $10 than not have the hassle with the immigration service or the immigration officer at the airport. Because if you do get asked to book your flight, you're going to pay a lot more money than the $10. Just look upon it as a little bit of a tax that you have to pay. Let's celebrate their 5th Super on live stream. That's quite missed on there. Oh yeah. So yeah. So does that mean that's the 5th super chat you've given me, Mark? If so, thank you very much again. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. As you can see now, these lights are all on solar, and I'm a big fan of solar. I've done solar power around the house for emergency backup and things like that. So if our electricity goes off, we've got a solar system, so we can watch the TV on the computer. We can use the fans, and I think I did the whole system for about 10,000 baht. So it wasn't expensive, and we've got an emergency backup. And we've also got a couple of lights around the side of the house that are working off the battery as well. We have a solar panel that charges the battery up every morning. So for 10,000 baht, we have emergency backup, so we'll never run out of power. And the battery, at the most, we would ask for 2 fans running all night in the bedroom to keep us cool, because we don't use the air conditioning. So that's what it's for. There's no need to spend a fortune on solar power. Again, these lights here, we've had them up for 2 years, and they're on now for a good 10 hours a day. And we got them off Lazada, and they're just perfect. It's absolutely brilliant, really, really good. So we've got solar lights all the way around the house, and so it's just next to nothing to run. Seen horror stories where people have used an agent to get their first visa, but when they go to renew their the 800 pound baht in the account long enough to get self money of 800,000 hasn't been in the account long enough to get. Okay. The way to get round the 800,000 baht in the bank, from if you want to do it yourself. Now, there's some people don't want to do the paperwork and things. This is my workaround and solution to it, and it's not difficult to do. So, for instance, if here's a scenario, so you get an agent to do your 800,000 baht in the bank, and then with view of you going to do it yourself the following year. So you're going to have your 800,000 baht in the bank the following year. So this first year, your 800,000 baht goes in the bank for all of 3 or 4 minutes from an agent, then it comes back out your bank account. But in your bank book, which the immigration want to see, the following year, it shows that 800 goes in one day and it comes out the same day. So yeah, there's some question over that. But if you use an agent, you get 15 months. You get 15 months on your visa. So that gives you a full year of putting 65,000 baht into your, because when all's said and done, you need money to live on anyway. So if you want to use the 65,000 baht method, you put 65,000 baht in the bank every month for a year. So the immigration want to see 12-month statement. And by doing that, that gives you your 12 months at 65,000 baht a month coming in. And the second way, if you're going to put 800,000 baht in the bank account, then you only have to do that 2 months before your renewal. So all you need to do is just say to the bank, because because the immigration want to have a look at your bank book as well. If you keep doing your bank book renewal or updating your bank book, then pages get full. So within 15 months, you'll get a second book anyway. So it won't even show that you've got the 800,000 came into the bank account and out the bank account on the same day. So that's the way around it. And even if you didn't do that many updates, and you've still got the old bank book, you just say to the people that you've lost the bank book. So can they give you a new bank book, or you just put it in the wash and wash the bank book, and you take it to the bank. So there's no problems with your identity or somebody stealing your bank book. You wash it, take it to the bank, and just say, listen, it went through the washing machine. Can you give me a new bank book? So there are many ways around it, about legal ways around it as well, by doing it yourself, by using an agent for the first year. Some of the horror stories that you've heard, yeah, there's horror stories, but if you think about it, there are ways of doing everything over here in Thailand, and you can get around the system legally and doing it yourself. But I understand people want to use an agent when they first come, because it maybe appears to be a bit daunting, but that's what the agents want you to believe, that they will make life much simpler. But in some ways, the using a visa agent can make life more complicated. But they like to tell you that, because it gives them the money. They'll do all the 90 days reporting for you. They'll do your visas every year. And in reality, it's, like the visa agent that I send people to is 25,000 baht. Then I think on your renewal, it's only 12 to 15,000 renewal every year. So it's not a lot to pay, for ease of not having to do all the paperwork. Swings and roundabouts. I've never really heard any bad stories. There was a case in Phuket where I think 200 or 300 people didn't get the visas, but I never ever heard the outcome of all of them things. 200 or 300 people who didn't get the visa by using a visa agent. But luckily them stories are very, very few and far between. But it's like over here, you never hear the result of what's gone on there. Some people lost a lot of money. They haven't got the passports and things like that. So, it happens. But use a reputable agent, go from the advice, go on the forums and ask other people who they use. And if you get the same person's name coming up several times, then use them. So yeah, there's horror stories about everything over here, but there are far more good stories with visas and stuff like medical insurance and things like that than there is bad. Highlights, just got back from the UK from Thailand holiday. Well cheesed off. Yeah. Well, Christmas time is always a good time in the UK. There is a buzz about Christmas time and New Year in the UK. I've got to say that, and the buzz is good. But come January the 2nd or 3rd, everybody goes back to normal. Doesn't say hi, don't say hello, and doesn't even nod to say hi. So enjoy the good time while you're back in the UK, and hurry back to Thailand because it's a wonderful place. My solar lights are it's dark here now, and as I say, I've got no backup light. The light that's in here now is all off solar. So I used to have a backlight that came on when it was dark. Because what time is it now? It's 6:26 in the evening time here now. So again, sat in our veranda, it's light enough with these solar lights here. And for me, it's like free energy. It's free use. It's brilliant. I'll always. I mean, the reason why solar hasn't taken off in Thailand is because electricity is so cheap, and the amount of sunshine hours that we get here is incredible. So, and solar over here, electricity is so cheap, it's going to take another 7 or 10 years to get your money back. So, eventually, one day, the solar prices will come down. I mean, the battery. The 100 amp hour battery that I bought was almost 5,000 baht. So that in itself, 5,000 baht is a big expense. That was half of the cost of the system that I put in, was the battery. So battery technology over the next 5 or 10 years will be, remarkable, and that'll bring the cost down for solar for everything. I'm hoping that Thailand extends the 30-day visa exempt to 60 or 90 days. So am I. Everybody's hoping the same. I thought it would have. I thought it would have been in before now, before the Christmas and New Year, because for sure it will attract people in, because people don't like the hassle of having to renew the 30 days. So if they've got 60 or 90 days, it'll just increase tourism. So why they haven't done it by now? I mean, 2 weeks ago, they were expecting an imminent decision, but here we are now, no imminent decision has been made yet. I think it's a lost trick that Thailand, they should have announced it ages ago. That would encourage the people to come, because the Chinese aren't coming. They were pinning their hopes on the Chinese coming, but the Chinese aren't here. The Chinese aren't spending the money here anymore. In fact, there was a YouTuber vlogger has just been arrested by the Thai authorities for bad mouth in Thailand, saying, you know, it's a bad place to be because of crime against Chinese people. So, you know, there was even talk about putting Chinese police on the Thai streets, you know. And anyway, the Thai Prime Minister just turned around and says, no, that's never, ever going to happen. But that's in an effort to try and make the Chinese feel safe in Thailand. But I've never heard of any bad reports about the Chinese being attacked. I mean, because the Chinese go in big groups. Who's going to attack a group of 45, 50 people? You know, I don't know. But certainly the Chinese aren't coming in the numbers that they expected them to come. Skyscanner is life-changing. So is the Hopper app. I like Skyscanner. You know, when I'm checking the flight, Skyscanner is always good. Yeah. Dogs barking. There's snakes around. You know, the dogs are always barking. That's the one thing about Thailand. The soy dogs are always barking. They'll bark over anything and everything. Snakes. We get a few snakes here. Not an awful lot. That's a part of living here in Thailand. Snakes and scorpions. Scorpions during the rainy season. I've seen a lot of the scorpions then, but snakes, we've had a few in the garden. We've had 2 in the house, but just green tree snakes. Harmless, but I still take big steps to get away from them. You know, I must admit the 2 that we've had in the house I've killed because I don't like snakes and the wife doesn't like snakes. But if I see any snakes in the garden, I'll just shoo them off. You know, you keep away from them. They're just as scared as you are them. So, and in the 12 years I've lived here, I've never seen a cobra, and I don't want to see a cobra. But the other snakes I've seen are green snakes and rat snakes and things like that. So we're pretty lucky. I mean, we're quite noisy around the house, I think. So, and snakes don't like it where it's noisy. So that's a part of living here. Yes, there is some fly around. I've got it. Oh, flew around. Yeah, I haven't got my glasses on. It's dark. Yeah, there's some flu around. Yeah, this is it. My wife was bad for 5 days, so it's not like her to be ill. Hopefully, I don't get this because you know she's quite bad for 5 days. I don't need that. I've got a busy week next week, so I don't need that. Just got back from Pi last week. Long way to go, but yes, beautiful. Yeah, it is a long way to go. Like it's 14 hours from here to Chiang Mai. Then it's another 2.5 hours to Pi, but it's well worth it. I love Pi. Yeah, good day, John. Extend it. It will be one of the countries with the highest visitors relation here, like Malaysia, India, or South Korea, not Western vacations. Yeah, again, I mean, let's face it, you know, every country wants its tourists, you know, Malaysia, Singapore and things like that. They've got to make it more attractive here, you know. There's a lot of people saying over in Cambodia and things like that, you know, and Vietnam, it's much easier to get visas there now. Vietnam is a beautiful place. So why Thailand aren't making life easier for expats and things like that? You know, for me, treat the people that are actually spending the money. I spend 800,000 baht a year because I have to, but we spend about that 55 to 60,000 baht a month we spend. So we're helping the Thai economy by spending that amount a month every year. So why not give us a little bit of a break for those people who are living here full time? You know, they could make life a little bit simpler. But when all said and done, it's Thailand. They'll do whatever they want to do, and we'll follow the rules. We can always ask what we want, but whether we're going to get it, that's another program, isn't it? That's another. Just go with the flow. Average 3 or 4 days and spend very little, while Europeans spend an average 11 days and spends 45k during that time. I mean, yeah, the Indians spend very, very little here in Thailand, as do the Chinese. And they're classed as $0 because everything with the Chinese, the Chinese tour group, Chinese bus companies, Chinese tour guides, Chinese hotels, Chinese restaurants. So the money in reality doesn't go to Thailand, it goes to China. Saw the report about the Chinese lady. She was saying she never felt safe due to attention from foreign men eyeing her up. She was walking down one of the strips. There is no excuse for it. Well, if she was a beautiful looking, everybody looks at beauty. And I've got to say that probably the Thai girls in Pattaya. I mean, my wife was propositioned in the market in Pattaya. She was just doing normal shopping. We went with a group of friends to Pattaya for the weekend, and my wife just went to the market, just the normal market on Soybik out at the top end. And somebody asked my wife plainly, just came up. She said, how much is it to go with you? And my wife told him where to get off. But I mean, so when you think of it, how many other girls in Pattaya are getting accosted by guys every single day because not every girl is a bar girl, not every girl is a working girl in Pattaya, but I would imagine every girl is pestered by the sex pests in Pattaya. So this Chinese girl didn't say where she was getting eyed up, whether she's in Pattaya or whether she's in Bangkok. But if she's a beautiful Chinese girl, she's going to get looked at. So yeah, just a foolish girl. But she will get told off for it, and I think she's going to get sent out of the country with a black mark on "Don't come back." Good night, Les. Great information. You're a great guy from Scott New. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Scott. Thanks very much for tuning in. It'll soon be time you'll be over here, and then you'll be talking to me in Thai time. New Zealand is a fair distance away from here. I've been to New Zealand, liked it. So thanks very much, Scott, for joining in. Much appreciated. Surprise today, don't start doing some sort of interest-free or low rate for solar, so people can pay similar to their bills and set up if they're serious about going green. Yeah, it's for me as a Westerner, it's cheap. But for 5,000 baht, that's almost half a month's salary for a battery. For the average Thai person, poorly paid Thai person. So would you spend half a month's salary on just a battery and then all the other? So in reality, it's probably a month's payment for just my little backup system. So nobody's going to pay that amount of money. And before, it's like the Thai government, they used to pay people for, when you're fed back onto the grid, but they've stopped that. So you get no incentives whatsoever. In fact, there's a disincentive, is that if you get one of these grid tie inverters and you're putting it back onto the meter or turning your meter backwards, you can be fined by the electricity company in Thailand, and they can actually charge you more money for putting excess energy onto the grid. Now, I've got a grid tie inverter, and I actually do that. But my solar panel is only an 80-watt panel. So I look upon it is that it feeds energy into my house, which lets me run the fridge for free. So my bill last month was about 100 baht cheaper than any other month because of the grid tie inverter. And that pumps, although it's an 80-watt panel, it pumps enough into the system for 6 or 7 hours a day that my fridge is running for free. But even then, when there's nothing running in the house at midday, when the power's the most from the solar panel, you can see my meter going backwards ever so slowly, but not big enough. So when the meter reader comes, looks at the system like, oh, his meter's going backwards. So, yeah, Thailand, should embrace the green energy and the solar panels. And there's a guy, Ben, on living in Thailand. He's got the whole solar. He's not connected to the grid, and he's another good guy to watch because his whole house is solar panel, and it was cheaper for him to put solar in than it was to run the power poles and get electricity put into his house. So solar is the way, but it just needs to be coming down in price. And I think over the next 10 years, it's like 10 years ago, the solar stuff now is half the price it used to be 10 years ago. So let's say in another 10 years, it's going to be half the price again. So the balance will shift and the balance will get there. But I'm a big fan of solar, that's for sure. Forget the numbers of visitors, their stay, and the spending is low in comparison. Yep, again, the money isn't getting spent over here in Thailand. If visas here are based on spend per vacation, Brits would be granted 120 days upon arrival. I like the way you can pick up antibiotics up and over the counter in Thailand. Always stock up when there's over there. And yeah, again, it's. I mean, the medication over here. I have had subscribers have asked me whether because they're on quite strong medication over in England, and they've asked me if they. So they give me a particular medicine, and in the pharmacies you can't get it. So we went to the Bangkok hospital and went to the Bangkok pharmacy inside the hospital, and we asked, "Can you get this medication?" They said, "Yes, you can, but because it's such a strong medication, you need to see a Thai doctor. And once he gives you the prescription, you just take all the documentation from your country, what medication and why you're on it. You go and see a Thai doctor, and that'll cost you maybe 500 or 600 baht to go and see the doctor, and he will give you that prescription for that medication, but only once you've seen the doctor. And then you can put a regular prescription into the pharmacist because you've got the doctor's authorization to say you can get that medication. So basically, no matter what medication you are on, you can get that medication over here. Now, a little story. When I went back to England several years ago, I got a very, very bad ear infection, and it took a week before I got the medication required to get rid of this bad ear infection from the doctor. So once he emailed the medication I needed, I was in Japan at the time, and I went to the pharmacy and they said, "No, you have to see a doctor." It was £150 to go and see a doctor to get this medication. And I was in Japan for 2 weeks, and I thought, "Oh, I'll wait till I get to China." So I went to China for 2 weeks. Same thing. It was £100 to go and see a doctor in China for this medication. 2 weeks later, I was in Thailand. I went to the first pharmacy on Soibakau, and I said, "Can I have this medication?" And she said, how many do you want?" And this was a strong medication that had been prescribed to me from England. Japan, I couldn't get it. China, I couldn't get it. But Thailand, first pharmacy, how many tablets do you want? So yeah, medication over here, you can get anything and everything over here. So don't be worried about it, but you might have to go and see a Thai doctor to get it. Question, but would you buy an electric car? No, I wouldn't buy an electric car. The reason why I wouldn't buy an electric car is because the cost of replacing the batteries. I mean, who's going to buy a second-hand electric car? Because you don't know how long the batteries are going to last for. And the batteries, like in anything to do with batteries, that's usually half the cost of the car itself in the first place. So, and with a petrol car or diesel car, they can just get fixed anywhere. Whereas an electric car, there's only certain companies that can fix electric cars. So no, I don't. Me personally, I don't think electric cars have got the infrastructure yet. Certainly not in Thailand. I've seen more and more electric chargers, and I've seen a lot of electric cars in Thailand. But look at how many electric cars catch fire, over in England. I mean, there's, reports of electric car catching fire in China. There's lots of cheap Chinese electric cars that catch fire and they just set fire to everything. And they're very, very difficult to put out as far as a firefighter's perspective, because, you know, talking to other guys, they've been to a couple of electrical car fires in England, and they're just so difficult to put out. So no, I wouldn't buy an electric car, not as yet anyway. And again, the price is prohibitively expensive anyway compared to a petrol. I do me little bit with my solar, but electric cars, that is a lot of money to pay. I was looking at the solar for the house getting built, hybrid to use at night, but as you say, it can take nearly 10 years to recoup the cost. Hopefully price will get, yeah, it will get cheaper at the end of the day, yeah. But again, if you're just looking for a system, for a backup system, then, you know, it's well worth doing it. You know, for how often does the power go out anyway? And the only reason why we put our backup system is because our electricity went out for 6 hours during the night, during the really, really hot season. So no fans, no nothing. My wife was having at 2 o'clock in the morning, a shower with the water, you know, from our storage tank, just to cool her down. And I said, that'll never happen again. So that's why I made the system that I made, because the system that we got for 10,000 baht, it will run 2 fans all night, you know, on the battery, and that'll only half drain the battery, because we've just got the gel battery, and you're not supposed to use them below 50% of their capacity. So if you just want emergency backup, you know, then that's cheap to do. It's not very expensive to do. So, and we have 2 bulbs running on the outside of the house coming straight from the battery, so it doesn't even go through the inverter, and that's just working off the battery, because it's good that the battery uses power, and then the battery is getting charged up every day by the solar panel. We're also going to put 2 or 3 bulbs inside the house as emergency backup, so we have lights in the house, we have the TV, the internet. So it's sort of work in progress, and it's not difficult to do. But I mean, since I put it in, the power's never ever gone off. But you know, when it does, we're prepared, and it hasn't cost a lot of money. But to put a whole system in, it's very, very, very expensive. And again, why do you want to wait for 10 years? You know, to recoup your money. Just order an electric car. Hope mine doesn't catch fire. No, I mean, the electric cars, they will be the future without a doubt. But again, it's the battery technology, and like the people say, you know, buy a car for green, saving the, you know, the energy and things like that, saving the planet. But when I've seen the documentaries as to how green is an electric car, it isn't that green at all, with the cobalt and, you know, the amount of, you know, earthing that to get the cobalt and stuff like that. It isn't as green as what they say it is. But yeah, electric cars will be the future, because at the end of the day, there's only so much oil and gas that they can get out the earth. But hopefully, we'll come across a system that hydrogen energy or stuff like that, and you know, technology is going to come along and cure all of the world's problems with regard to gas and oil. Anyway, that's another. You know, I'll be curling my toes up long before any of that comes along. Here. So I just live with what I can do, and I do my little bit with solar and stuff like that. So, like I said, my electricity bill is only, well, less than 1,000 baht a month. Usually 700 or 800, but last month it was 600 baht, 589. So for me, it doesn't warrant putting solar in my house, because my electricity bill is so cheap anyway. But that's because we don't use the air conditioning. My wife doesn't like the air conditioning, so if we don't use the air conditioning, then it saves a lot of money. Whereas people I know has 4,000 or 5,000 baht a month electricity bill because of the air conditioning units. So anyway, on that, we're coming up to 2 hours 49 minutes. So we'll go for the 3 hours. we'll go for the 3 hours because my voice is beginning to go now and I've run out of water. So if anybody's got any last minute questions before the end of this live stream, and because I won't be back on another live stream until next year, and hopefully everybody will have a good Christmas and New Year, and making plans for the future. January is always a good time for making plans for the future. An electric car dealership just opened near me. Not sure how they're doing. There's a lot of electric cars in Thailand. You know, there's a couple that I actually like the shape of them type of thing. And I think that there was one of them. It was 981,000. It's a smaller car than mine. It was 981,000 baht, and she said to fill it up with electricity. I don't know how far you got with that. She said it was only 300 baht to fill it up with the equivalent electricity to fill the tank up. So, and because she couldn't speak good English and I couldn't speak good Thai, there was sort of a bit of a miscommunication as to how far you got on 300 baht worth of electricity. So. But anyway, 981,000 baht. That's twice the price, almost twice the price of my car, me Almira. So I could have 2 cars for the price of that 1 car. And my next car will be another Nissan Almira. This is my second Almira, and I've been over the moon with it. It ran faultless. It's easy to maintain and cheap to maintain, cheap to insure. And my next, when I'm 66 and I get my pension, next thing is a brand new car, and that'll be a brand new Almira, and that'll see me out until I'm 76, another 10 years. So that's my next car, another Almira, but another petrol one, and that at the minute they're about 560,000 baht, so still cheaper than the electric cars, by almost half the price. And petrol is so cheap over here anyway, less than 33 baht a litre. So I filled my car up the other day. It cost me 1,200 baht to fill it up, which 1,200 baht is about 30 quid, 35 pounds maybe is at the end of the day. So it isn't a lot of money, is it? To fill up, over 100 pounds to fill your car up with petrol now in the UK. We're looking at solar house built. Oh yeah, okay. Can be a nightmare when the electric goes down. Luckily, mostly during the day, but still hot with the fans not working. Yeah, as I said, that's why we did what we did, so we can actually sit with the fans on. 10 years is not much, and you can't forget that. You have a good backup system. Yeah, well, that's what I did, just for a backup system, 10,000 baht. So how long, I mean, the inverter is only a cheap Chinese inverter, so that is going to be the first thing that goes wrong with it. So, but because we're not using it every day, it will work when we want it to work. And I think you can get on now Lazada, you can get a 5-year warranty on the inverters, and that they're about 9,000 baht for a PEA approved inverter with a 5-year warranty for like £200, and it's got a 5-year guarantee on it. So if my inverter does go, that is my next purchase, is to buy the 9,000 baht inverter, and because it's a hybrid inverter, so that pumps electricity into the house as well. And then I will upgrade my system to another maybe 300 or 400 watt panel, so I just have a gentle ticking over of electricity every day. So I mean, it's work in progress. I can improve it as and when I want, but we just put it there as a backup, and hopefully, the backup will work every time we want to use it. 90-day reporting. 90-day reporting. Okay, 90-day reporting is easy. You can do it online. It's very, very easy to do. It's not difficult. Yeah, 90-day reporting. Or you can go down to the office and do 90-day reporting. You're in and out within 2 or 3 minutes. 90 days reporting is so easy to do. If I'm not in my registered house at the time I need to report, do I put the address where I'm staying at the time of my home address? No, it's the responsibility of the landlord, hotel, or wherever you're staying to inform the immigration. It's called a TM30, and they're supposed to fill the TM30 in. When you go and do your 90-day reporting, you fill out a form to say where you're living. So you just do that. And then if there's any fault with it or whatever, then the immigration will pick it up. But it's the owner of where you're living's responsibility to fill out the TM30. So it's not your fault if they haven't filled it out. And actually, in fact, they can be fined for not filling out a TM30. But again, if you use an agent, agents do your 90-day reporting for you also, or some agents do. But it's not that difficult to do. But I would suggest that if you're in the same accommodation all the time, then you'll get a little slip of your accommodation where you're living, and that goes in the back of your passport so they can see that you registered that address. And that might cost 300 baht because you fill out all the paperwork to say that you're living at a certain address, and that's your residential address all the time. And once you've got that, then it's no problem. But again, immigration, go and see the immigration office. They're not there to trip you up or catch you out. They're there to help you. And if you've got any problems like that, you just go and see them, and they will make a phone call to the landlord or landlady and tell them that they are responsible for filling out the TM30. So it's not your problem, it's their problem. Thailand is full of old cars today. Drive from Hua Hin to Jamchung for 6 hours. Thailand is full of old cars. Today, drive from Hua Hin to Jamchung for 6 hours. Yeah, funny enough, it takes us 6 hours to drive from Hua Hin to Rayong as well. So, I mean, everything is fixable here. You know, no matter what car you've got, they can fix it. I mean, there's Mercedes driving around with Toyota engines in it. I think Tim from TNT, Tim Newton in Thailand, he's an Australian guy that does, news every day of the week. He just bought a Mercedes and he's got a Toyota engine in it. It's an older type Mercedes, and he's had repairs done to it. And in reality, any car in Thailand can be fixed here, and it's not expensive to get fixed. So cars just run forever over here. They're not expensive to get fixed or repaired. Thanks for the info. Another beer I shall buy you. It looks like. Yeah, we might have a few beers and that then, but that sounds good to me. I mean, I don't drink and drive, so if we're on holiday and we bump into each other, I'll park the car up and I'll have a few beers. But that's one thing I've got to say, that I'm a little bit anti-alcohol and driving over here, because when I was in the UK, I went to many car accidents involving people who were drinking and driving. And the man that I was talking about earlier on, who had 2 toes amputated, he was drinking and driving when he had the accident. Over here in Thailand, the chances of getting stopped by the police drinking and driving is very, 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 very rare, especially if you live in more remote areas as well. So a lot of people, because they know the risk is very small with regard to drinking and driving over here, they will drink and drive more often than not. So I'm still one of the old school people. If we go out to a party or an event somewhere, we'll stop at a hotel, or we'll stop at a guest house, or we'll stop at a resort near the event or the occasion that we're going to go to, because 600 or 700 baht for the night, so you can go and have a few beers, and it's actually cheaper than getting a taxi. But where we live, you wouldn't be able to get a taxi back from wherever we're drinking back to our place. So that's my answer to it. If you're going drinking somewhere with friends, stay at a resort, stay at a hotel or something like that, because it's just as cheap, and you know you're safe. Yourself is going to be safe, and your wife or your family is going to be safe, and everybody else that's on the road is going to be safe as well. But that's my little rant on people who drink and drive. Don't do it. Don't drink and drive. Stay in a hotel. Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Yeah, but that's the way it goes, you know. I mean, there's a guy here who was known to be a drunk, and he killed 2 Thai people. He reversed into them and killed them, and he didn't spend a day in jail at all, and it cost him 2 million baht in compensation to the Thai family, and he never spent 1 day in prison for killing 2 people, which is, in my mind, is wrong, you know, because he had the money and he paid to get out of trouble. 2 million baht, a million baht a life. Crazy. Anyway, that's enough. So anyway, there we go. 3 hours, bang on, 3 hours and 36 seconds. So I'm going to call that a night because it's dark now and the mosquitoes are nibbling at my ankles. So I'm going to 3 hours long. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining. Thanks very much, Mark, for the super chat. And everybody have a nice Christmas and New Year, and we'll talk to each other after the New Year. Watch my videos, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and anybody that hasn't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm aiming for the 9,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and that would be fantastic to do. So watch my other videos, especially the one that's coming up next week with regard to assisted living and living in Thailand in a retirement home, which is far, far nicer than any retirement home back in the UK or America or Australia. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. Bye for now.